Welcome to Freedom Friday, everybody. Welcome to the show. Hello. Greetings. This is our epic music. That was a wonderful piece developed by Scissor Fight, and he's a really good remix artist. He's a great guy for links, and he's been a big support in our room, and we really appreciate his involvement in our show. There's a lot of questions about what's happening in the economy right now. The entire stock market bounced back 396 points, folks. A major turn of events has occurred. We're not sure exactly whether you're an investor or not, but if you are investing, obviously you're going to want to capitalize on the economy and the strength of the U.S. dollar. Many people are going to be coming back into American investments now, reeled in, only to get themselves hit once again. Now remember, this is like a winch. Have you ever seen a winch when you pull a rock? Well, what happens is you pull forward and it pops back. You pull forward and it pops back, and eventually you move in a direction. Well, our economy is collapsing, okay? And in the process of collapsing, many of you will be hooked in when you see profit taking. So that profit taking that occurs in the Wall Street in sector is exactly the game that the rich people play. They want to bring you in. So some people are going to go, wow, yeah, maybe the stock market, I should get in now. And then pretty soon you'll see it collapse again. You'll see another 300 or 400 drops, and then you'll see it drop back again. This is a process. The reason why it's collapsing is everything that goes up must go down. Everything that expands out must collapse to what it really should be, which is the solvency factor. And the solvency factor in our economy doesn't exist. We're not solvent. We're completely on a hinge, credited out to the max. The only good thing, and I want to say to everybody in America who has credit debt, you've done a better job the past couple of years of getting rid of your credit debt. Credit debt of Americans has shrunk from $1.1 trillion to about $900 billion. All right? So you're actually paying back your credit cards. So good work, America. You're the Americans I'm proud of. Truly. When Donald Trump says he's going to make America great again, he doesn't even know what great Americans are all about, because he's a guy who's so deep in debt. He's swimming. He's underwater. The man is literally living in a Machiavellian nightmare that he created with his own credit debt that he acquired. What I believe that is the Federal Reserve backed him since the early 90s when he had his first bankruptcy. And incidentally, my family lost quite a bit of money at his first bankruptcy. Yeah. It's a shame it's full of trolls, but at the same time, I wouldn't see that if I didn't have allowed guests like you to say it's a shame it's full of trolls. The U.S. economy has not rebounded. And Donald Trump has no mechanism to rebound. All of his companies borrow money, much like Bain Capital, Mitt Romney's company. They're companies that engage in the buyout practice. So it's a very antiquated practice, but it works every time. A company can go in and buy up smaller companies. Like in the case of Donald Trump, he bought up Resorts International, and he bankrupted it. He borrowed against it and bankrupted it. So what they do is they borrow against whatever equity is left in the company they buy, and they bankrupt it. Now, Bain Capital, Trump has done this. There's the Carlyle Group, which is connected to George H.W. originally. George H.W. developed the Carlyle on the side as a consultant, but he didn't even want to be on the books. But they use corporate and government connections to make things happen. Another one, Cerberus. The Cerberus company just bought up Safeway across the nation last year. Cerberus happens to be the name of a three-headed mythical creature. It's the three-headed dog that guards the gates of hell. That's what Cerberus is. It is run by the CEO, Dan Quayle. Remember him, the vice president under George H.W.? Cerberus did a big buyout option in our area, and they're taking down a company called Hagen. Slowly but surely, they gave them a tremendous amount of credit. They gave this Hagen company, it's a market in where I live, 125 stores I think they got, and they opened them all up. And the Trade Commission said it was okay. They could do whatever they want. They approved the whole thing, even though the guy's credit wasn't worthy. And then 4 months later, and I predicted this, Hagen is going out of business. They're in bankruptcy. They're closing all those stores, 125 stores, 4 months later. And guess who picks up the note and acquires all of that property? That's right. The buyout companies like Cerberus. Yeah, grocery stores have a lot of fluoride in products. We got to get ahead of this fluoride problem. None of the two parties want to talk about it. No, it won't take 10 years to shut out illegal immigrants. We can do it almost instantaneously. Yeah, once we get that border up, I can build that fence. And I did some calculations. We have to build about 50 miles of fence a day. We can do it with enough people. Now, Trump, when he took my idea for the fence, the 1,000-mile fence, he turned it into a wall. We're not going to be able to lay brick that fast. So Trump's never built a wall. I've built fences. He's never built a wall. So when he borrowed my idea, which I've had for over 7 years, and ran with it like it was his own, he didn't get all the specifics down. We have a plan to actually put a 1,000-mile fence in, made out of fencing that's currently around the FEMA camps in the northern sector of our country. And you're probably saying, what are FEMA camps? Well, they happen to be, yeah, sell your stock now, exactly. Yeah, get in on the uptick in the market. Good point. That's a very good bit of advice, refried bacon. Thank you. Yeah, so we need to get ahead of the idea of building the fence, having Mexico pay for it, and get down to my idea, which was we're going to bring the troops home, get our National Guard to be on guard at the border. In the process, we'll be, of course, ending the Federal Reserve because there's no need to fight wars anymore because the Federal Reserve is pushing us closer and closer to wars. The fencing is not racist, David. No. It's just designed to keep intruders from coming in. If people want to leave, they can. Yeah, those illegals are not wanted. That explains why they went to prison. So we want to give them a job at the border, and they'll be able to earn their freedom after about 3 months working at the border. And we'll be able to use a lot of our existing FEMA trailers to warehouse these people. And most of them are men. They're going to be working to lay that fencing. We will transport the fencing to them. Our crews, our U.S. government trucks and the Army and National Guard will bring the fencing down there. And we'll be putting 50 miles a day. It's going to be a massive effort to create one single fence and then electrify it. Now that's going to work. Donald Trump doesn't have any of these ideas. The whole idea originally, the 1,000-mile fence, is mine, and it's honed. We've got this worked out. So when he comes into a discussion with a good quality journalist, they rip him apart because he doesn't know what he's going to say. Mexico's going to pay for it. We're going to make a wall. We'll make it out of Adobe. I mean, the guy has no idea. No, we don't need to invade Syria, Willie. Syria's not our mortal enemy. Our country's been played. Our country's been played by the corporate elitists, the World Bank, the IMF, forcing us to push deeper and deeper into Syria. That is a failed policy, and my first attempt to break through the Putin will be to tell him we're pulling our troops out of Syria and Ukraine. And I'd like to forge some sort of an agreement with him to start communicating again. That's the only restriction, is I just want an open communication base with Vladimir Putin. We need the same type of communication that Khrushchev and Kennedy had, so we don't end up having a war. We don't need a colder war. John Kerry's incompetency is well noted. This agreement with Iran has been a disaster. We definitely have to do something about that. We've got to renege on our agreement, cancel it. Whatever money's been passing hands has to stop. The post office is running at a $7 billion deficit a year, roughly, $6.5 billion. And we can get an efficient post office if we get it to take on some new techniques, like delivery every other day and no Saturday and Sunday delivery. We'll be delivering every other day to different sectors, cutting the staffing and the cost of fuel. I can't play any songs on, it's all YouTube. The only one I can play is Can't Stop right now, and a couple others. That's the only one we haven't had any red flags on. She's out and about. She'll be back. She has a daily schedule that she's on, and I do the show mostly. She gives me breaks. Yeah, I can play that. Absolutely. It's a great song. It's good to kind of chill out because it's TGIF, right? You guys have worked all week, or maybe you sat at home eating Dorito chips all week. It's not easy. You had to get up and take a crap. You know, life's hard. But a lot of us are working really hard. Megyn Kelly's not running right now, but if she wants to call me up, she can. I'll take her call. And I won't call her any names. Okay. Because I can't stop running for president.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop.
So let's be clear.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Spawn Hunt. America's Third Party.
Spawn Hunt for president.
We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop.
First we hit 'em low, then we hit 'em high. Underrated, but we made it to the finish line. Rhymes designed to combine and intertwine. Spring to the summer, fall, even winter time. Beats banging harder, then head-on collisions. We make incisions with precision and quick decisions, causing double visions. If you ain't up to speed, you need to speed it up, partner. Piano read.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Spawn Hunt. America's Third Party.
We can't stop, we can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop.
Yeah, cool. That was great. So this is America's Third Party. We've been doing this for a long, long time, 7 years, and we're getting very, very good at discussing things that come in real time. The chat networks that we're having now, as the growth of our party is kind of kicking in, are relatively limited. So we're looking at a chat alternative for you guys coming up with our Cool Rock network. And we'll be making that a much more fun chat experience for you. Some of you are having server capacity issues on one of your networks, and I'm very sorry for that. I can't control it. But I must tell you that this is not just a growing event because we have a good show. It's really people coming together saying we don't like any of the candidates. And many people are really frustrated with this Donald Trump character when he said openly that if he shot somebody in the street, his supporters are so loyal they'd still vote for him. And yeah, we'll be building a coolrock.com chat hub for you guys. This weekend we're going to work on it. Sarah and I are going to be developing it. So you'll have areas to chat and spill off. You can read the chat from all different angles. But we'll still be on the Vaughn network, of course, and on all the other networks that are broadcasting. Okay, we got a guy named Pilkins calling, I think. Hey there, Pilkins. What can I do for you? Hi.
Hey, David. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks. What's the question?
All right. Well, I was calling up because I have an issue I was wondering if we could discuss.
Okay, what is it? Okay.
But there's a big issue with Indian immigrants.
Oh, yeah.
And what they do is, they'll have somebody here, and then they arrange arrange a marriage to somebody in India, and then they move here.
Right.
It's basically a green card marriage.
Yeah.
The government does nothing about it.
I know. Well, Indians and Pakistanis and Barack Obama brought in 2 million people, gave them green cards over the past 7 years, and many of them have been Indian.
It's ridiculous.
Prior to that, Bush was bringing Indians over, and this has been going on and on. Many of them end up getting a loan, a guaranteed $10,000 loan to start a business or more, and that's why many of them have bought motels. They bought liquor stores. You see a lot of Iraqi people running, gas stations. I mean, this is a common thing now. So they're buying up our infrastructure this way. I'll stop it. I will stop all of this green card immigration approval. We've got a thing called fast track naturalization, which can give them a pathway in their own country at their own embassy, at the U.S. embassy there. That's the only way we're going to do this. And we're going to charge. We're not going to make it free. And it still will have the same 6-question test necessary to pass to get the citizenship, and we'll even give them English and history and government classes included in that fee. But we're talking like $5,000, to get into this opportunity. So fast track naturalization is our secret to the whole solution. And it's not a way I'm not hating on people who want to become immigrants, because we are all somewhat related to immigrants, unless of course you're a Native American completely, who came here before.
Well, you have to treat everybody fairly. I think they're getting special treatment because people think, arranged marriage, it's part of their culture, but they're using it, as a loophole.
They are, and this has been going on. There are classes in Pakistan on how to become a U.S. citizen and milk or drain the social welfare system. They teach people how to do this. They do this in Vietnam too.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not kidding. This is real. They really teach people how to drain our social system. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Everything he is saying is 100% true. I mean, David Sponheim is a goddamn genius. Oh, sorry. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to curse on your program here.
That's all right, man.
He's a genius. Everybody needs to write him in, because there's no other way that this country is going to get fixed. If you vote Trump, we're screwed. If you vote Clinton, we're screwed. David Sponheim is the only option.
Thank you. And I must tell you, these people who borrowed my ideas like Trump, other people like Michelle Bachmann in the last election borrowed the idea of the 1,000-mile fence. But these people that are borrowing my ideas, they can't think that fast on their feet. They don't have the ability. They can't even interact in a chat room like this. I have been running this plan for 7 years, and I'm totally interactive. I'm reading the chat. I'm scanning as I talk. So we have a plan to actually pay Americans first. That will chop the head off the snake of illegal immigration. Now, these people that come over here from countries and get green cards, they are siphoning off of our food stamps, our Section 8 housing. Our Economic Development Council gives them loans, like I told you. And this is a welfare junkie situation where they become welfare recipients. Dearborn, Michigan, if you have 3 or 4 wives and you have Sharia law in your family, you can get 3 or 4 welfare checks. So this is absurd.
Oh yeah.
We've got to stop this.
All the time.
Yeah, we got to stop it.
I used to work in a grocery store, and people would come in and they could actually get cash back off of their food stamps card, and then they'd go and buy liquor and cigarettes and lottery tickets and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Whereabouts? What part of the country are you living in? In an area that's predominantly Indian, Pakistani? Are you immersed in that sector in your life, or is it just?
Well, I live in Chicago, so there's a lot of races all over the place. But in my apartment building that I live in, there's specifically a lot of Indians, and in the apartment above me, I have 8 people living in one apartment.
Wow. So you see it right there in front of you. 8 people living right in that one apartment. That's really kind of wild. Well, I'm not a person who hates on Muslims, because I support freedom of speech and religion.
Yeah.
And I don't want to turn against our Constitution, but I am concerned about people arming themselves, of course, but not religious freedom. I don't want to squash religious freedom. Why we're here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, same here. I'm not trying to, speak ill of anybody, but like I said, it's a loophole that, specifically people from one part of the, world are abusing.
Yeah. There you have it. Somebody said he hates the human race equally. Ron Helix, you're starting to feel really down on the human race. I try to remain positive that we can all live together and get along. I mean, the words of Rodney King resonate just as much as the words of Martin Luther King in my mind. I mean, I lived through the LA riots. I was in Los Angeles 1 week before Reginald Denny had his head caved in by a group of black guys. So I know what it feels like to grow up in a mixed environment, a mixed race environment. I've never said racial slurs to people, but I've gotten pretty weird looks just being a white guy. I know that, when I walk into
everywhere you go.
Yeah, when you walk into a travel
station, you're not even allowed to
station.
have an opinion anymore because
Right.
anytime you chime up, people say, "Oh, you're white, you have privilege, you don't understand the trials that other races go through."
The thing is, we all have our pathway. Whites don't have it easy anymore. There's no white privilege, not with affirmative action. That's gone. So I need to explain that to people of any background that's different than my Caucasian background. But at the same time, I don't want to make it hard for people to get an education if you're a minority. I want to actually double the Pell Grants to everybody. This will somewhat nullify the affirmative action requirement and then work through legal channels to get rid of affirmative action. So that people are really truly judged on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. I would have had a 4-year education paid for had I been black.
Affirmative action itself is racist.
Yeah.
You're singling out one race and giving them special treatment where, everybody should just be judged based on their academic achievements, based on, personality, stuff like that.
Absolutely. And that's the way it's always been. I grew up in the public school system. I thought that's the way it was going to be. When I graduated from high school, number 1 in my class with honors, and I already had 2 years of college calculus under my belt. I'd already gone to 2 years of college, and I thought, well, gosh, I got everything lined up to go to Harvard or Princeton or Yale or Stanford. I applied. I sent my $35 into every one of those locations, and they all turned me down. And I was like, wait a second, I'm a 4.0. I'm the number 1 student in my high school class of 700 students in the LA area. What the hell? What's going on? And I was directly
they really
slammed.
give you the shaft on that. I can't believe they turned down somebody as smart as yourself. That's just a perfect example of how broken the system is. When you have, a genius like you that can't even get into college because, they're too busy filling it up with, minorities.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is. And I don't want any of you people to actually, get turned away from a college. I don't want any of you who are Caucasian to get turned away like it happened to me. I can feel for a lot of people right now going through what I went through. And for the past 30 years, there's a lot of me's out there right now sitting in their house going, well, should I just start a business or should I go work at Walmart? I don't know. And a lot of people are going, what are they going to do with their future? And we don't need that. This nation needs to have jumpstart opportunities. I'm proposing a 6-week to 6-month certification program at every community college. And this is not some promise like Bernie Sanders saying he's going to pay for everyone's education. That's BS. There's no money for that. There is money, however, for 6-week to 6-month certifications and maybe a 2-year credential for people who qualify. I'd also like to shrink the age of independent status from 25 to 21, because had I been able to get independent status at 21, I would have applied for college grants again. But I had to wait till I was 25, and it was a bad year for me. My dad had a heart attack. I went home, lived with my parents half-time, taking care of my father's diet. It's an interesting experience that I was turned, basically my mother at that year said, oh, David, guess what? And I was coming home to say I was going to apply to new colleges. And she said, oh, guess what? I just declared you on my tax return. And I'm going, what did you do that for? I mean, this was the year I was going to apply at 25. I waited till I was 25, and then she went ahead and did that. And it ruined my opportunity that year to get a college grant as an independent status person. That's got to be moved to 21. Much sooner. People can get independent status that way, and more people can get Pell Grants. Plus, we need to lock down those Pell Grants and make sure that they guarantee a fixed rate tuition at the colleges that grant that, or that cash that Pell Grant. They can't keep raising. Did you quit your job and do full-time chatting? You're a chatter. When your mom says, hey, honey, what are you doing with your career? Well, I'm a full-time chatter, Mom. William Mount, the guy who was in our show a past couple, he's the guy I started my Conspiracy Monday show doing, I called it Mount Monday. He went on to do videos past 2 years, and he's making an income from his videos, and he's really out there. But because he's not openly supporting a political party, they're not censoring him like they are on my videos on YouTube. We have a lock on our hit counter. He's getting money. He's making AdSense dollars. I'm happy for him. You know, and he's out there talking about wild stuff that he's thinking is happening in the world, and people listen. So you can make money on YouTube, folks, if you don't, take on my position, which is to support this new political movement. They don't want a political movement. They'll do everything they can to shut it down. The two parties and the powers that run them also control the media. That's what's going on. And so you, the voters, are the only ones that can bridge past the conceit and the greed of these two parties and the people that run them. They literally think they got this all locked up, that the future of our country will, of course, be a Democrat or a Republican. Well, the Democratic Party spit me out.
Hey, David?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got to get going now, but I just want to, say to all the viewers, you got to vote Sponheim 2016, write it in. I'm trying to get signatures right now to get them on the Illinois ballot, but, it's not going to work without voters. So everybody, if you want to make this country great, write in for David Sponheim.
Thank you very much, Ben. I really appreciate the call.
Yep.
All right, take it easy.
Yeah, glad I was able to get through to you. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Good night. Yeah, very good guy. He's called before. So these two plans in tandem, it puts pressure on illegals so that they don't siphon off our system, and it keeps them overseas with fast-track naturalization. They don't do it at our border. They can't become a U.S. citizen at our border. And combined with a 1,000-mile fence, we will have a nation that will be a defined population, not growing rapidly like we have. We've been growing at 5% per year, all because of illegal immigration. She could technically have said that I was living there half-time, so she declared me. But either way, it doesn't matter. I moved on. It's not about getting a college education. It's about fixing the country. I've always been about coming up with solutions and doing the detailed work to research ways in which we can solve problems. And I think that doesn't require an education. It can be done, with independent study, for that matter. In fact, many of you can actually get a hell of an education at MIT.
And with Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine
You
Harris
just don't
back
get
in
any
Washington,
degree
and a
for it.
blockbuster letter spelling out more potential problems for Hillary Clinton. Good evening, Catherine.
Right, as the FBI investigation expands, confirmation tonight from a senior government watchdog that Mrs. Clinton's email problems are much worse than previously reported.
Yeah.
According to this letter, first obtained by Fox News, Hillary Clinton's emails
on her unsecured personal server contained intelligence from the U.S. government's most secretive and highly classified operations, called Special Access Programs, or SAPs.
These are the crown jewels of the American intelligence community of the United States government.
The intelligence community's Inspector General, Charles McCullough III, notified congressional oversight committees on January 14th. The letter says a comprehensive review by the intelligence agencies, who have final say on classification matters, found, quote, several dozen emails containing classified information at the confidential, secret, and top secret /SAP levels. That is even more sensitive than top secret and brings new scrutiny to the presidential candidate's handling of government secrets.
If this information is compromised, we're going to suffer very serious national security damage. There's no mistake. You don't accidentally stumble across it and not realize what it is.
Access to these programs is highly restricted and on a need-to-know basis only. The State Department...
All right. I don't want to delve too deep into the specifics, but I can tell you that is what we've had on our list, our platter of concerns about Hillary for a long, long time, folks. We know that she even willingly opened up all of her remaining private emails to the public, which also jeopardized national security in many ways, because ironically, after she withheld all her emails and then opened up the few that she did open up, they were instantly they were like a cheat sheet on how to beat the U.S. encryption email system. And that alone is an espionage problem. Giving people a cheat sheet on how to beat our encoding and encryption system is not good. So she's up to her neck in all kinds of problems. Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Yeah, so we've got a couple new ideas to talk about tonight. we got border security on our mind. We've been talking about the immigration issue for some time. Welcome to the show. This is Sarah. She's my vice presidential choice for 2016. And we are together, the founders and partners behind America's Third Party, and we're very happy that you have tuned into us from various sources.
You've arrived! Congratulations, you're here. Such a great place to be.
We've been growing rapidly, almost too rapidly for the server issues at Vaughn, so we're looking at another alternative.
We're working on it.
This weekend we'll be building up our Cool Rock chat hub for people who just can't get into the servers. You'll be able to chat in alternate chat rooms. That's something that we're going to be coming up. We're not leaving Vaughn. We would love the fact that we get a free venue here, but we don't want anyone to face obstacles like you're facing just to talk about politics. I think that's pretty sad that network is so stifled. Yeah, well, thank you. I'm glad they're opening up the servers for our viewers. The American people are really frustrated with the candidates running.
Yeah, I'm sure
they really are.
I need to start blogging or posting on all the... that's one thing that you guys can do, is you can post on the articles. Are you frustrated with all these candidates like I am? Fortunately, there is somebody else running, David Sponheim.
Now we have a poster.
Time to find out about him.
We have
our show.
Thank you. I have a poster at AmericasThirdParty.com, and you can join the voter revolt and print this poster up. Right-click on it at AmericasThirdParty.com. Right-click on it, save it to your hard drive, and you can print these up.
Really, 1347. That would be cool.
You can print these up for $1 at Office Max, Staples, Office Depot. $1 color on cardstock, and you can put a little cardboard behind it and some plastic tape, and you've got yourself a really reasonable sign. This is how a grassroots movement starts, and people can put these in the back of their window behind their driver's side. Just one way to get this thing going, because we've got enough time to beat these people, even if we go with a write-in campaign in some states. And we're going to also put a certain place on our site. America's Third Party is going to have become an elector instantly. You'll be able to become an elector, and when the electors are needed, you will be called, and we can beat the two parties in the Electoral College by doing this. And we'll need electors in every state. So we already have a few, but we're going to need more. And that's one way you're going to be able to do it. We can't do it right now because, like I said, we're rebuilding that site, and it should be much better after the weekend. Well, you can buy one for sure, Pilkins, yeah. These are $2 if you print it up on 11 by 17. You can get them for $2. They're $1.88 in color on cardstock.
My Facebook is facebook.com/thirdparty. Really easy. My Twitter is @thirdparty. Everywhere you can find me at Third Party.
Thank you for coloring my teeth in. I appreciate that. And you got bumper stickers.
You can absolutely make your own. Yes, make your own.
All right, so I am not a college graduate, so I can appeal to some of the people that don't have a college degree who are looking for good ideas to fix the country and don't believe that college graduates necessarily have solved the problem. Sarah, however, has a four-year degree, and she's graduated with honors. So she's gone on to become a teacher, and she's a very happy and successful elementary school teacher.
If there are enough write-in votes in that given state, then the write-in votes are counted.
I don't believe Hillary's going to make it. You guys, you Democrats, just got hit pretty hard when Hillary's emails have been finally reviewed by secret intelligence forces to find 22 of them should never have been on a private server.
And I am David's vice presidential candidate, so there you go.
Thank you. The fact of the matter is, I was frustrated with my college professors. Many of them were Marxists at UCLA, and I hate Marxism. I absolutely despise it. It takes away the private property ownership, the incentive that the capitalist system offers. It actually prevents people from becoming individuals and living in a fully flourished, independent life. I believe that capitalism really has great potential, but we need to give it some boosts here and there. So the government should step in and at least offer some perks. So we have all these great ideas to trigger capitalist growth in our economy, and we even wrote a book about it called Hybrid Capitalism, which will be available for free download coming up. We're not quite there yet, but that's a book that really details, it's a 200-page book that details our plan for getting the government to recover.
His name is Sponheim, by the way.
And stimulate the private sector at the same time. I don't want small businesses to have any regulations as we get this economy rolling again. I want to back the government off completely of anyone trying to start a business. We need a lot more open opportunity for you to become individual businesses, maybe cottage industries, and that's all basically built into our model called hybrid capitalism, which we have created. All right, so the plan itself really hinges on the American people getting a voice in government, and that means a daily chat show with you from the White House. We're talking about a 1-hour show minimum. Thanks, Bilkins. You read it. Good. Sarah and I are average Americans, and we really believe if the American people had a chance to fix this country, we will be able to lead this country toward a better future. D's Nuts says, David, do you believe the Illuminati will try to control you? I don't have that ability. I'm not materialistic. I can't be threatened. I'm a person who realizes that my life may be short. I may have the future that JFK had. I don't know. But I can tell you we've got to do something to challenge the very elitist money that is controlling our two-party system. So I can't think of a better way than create a third party, and there's no way we're going to be beholden to the moneyed interests. In fact, we'll put together bylaws within our party to prevent that from happening. And you guys are going to be able to form this party because we're going to give it over to you. We're not like Barack Obama. I'm not going to make money on my name either.
Dank Fuel person, David asks about those same questions. Why are there inconsistencies? Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that just don't make a lot of sense right now in our economy. And many people have come into our show and had such reactionary positions. And we believe that if we just buckle down and find common ground for everybody, we can come to some conclusion in the middle of the political spectrum as to how to fix this country.
What does CCCP stand for, Melania? Okay.
Some people think that David Bowie is not dead. There's been a talk about...
Oh, all right, thank you.
There's been talk about David Bowie being this guy named Jack Stephen. This guy just appeared on news shows right after David Bowie died, and he looks just like David Bowie. And people are like freaking out. They don't really know how this guy appeared out of nowhere. Jack Stephen does not have any photographs from before David Bowie died. So, if you guys want to find out about the David Bowie death hoax, I'm not saying he's dead or alive. I have no idea. I'm not privy to that information, but you can check out a pretty interesting YouTube video there. You think he's dead? Well, no one went to his funeral. His body was cremated within 3 days of his death. Looks pretty weird to me. Yeah, Trump has taken a lot of our ideas. It's amazing. He came into our chat room in 2012. We were watching the Ustream network, and hardly anybody goes into our chat room at Ustream. And he came in there under the name Donald Trump. And he had to buy that. You couldn't get Donald Trump unless you paid for it. And he chatted with us for a little while and watched our show. And then that's the last we ever saw him. And I even said, Sarah, that looks like a legitimate chat with Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And she confirmed it seemed very legitimate to me.
Yeah, it seemed like him.
Yeah, he knows who I am, and he knows that I'm probably going to end up taking his job, running for president. I'm not liking all of the rash statements he's made, and it's really pissed me off that he's turned against our wonderful Constitution when he's telling Muslims that they have to get IDs, when he wants to create deportation forces. Our Constitution is everything. This little document cannot be touched. The Democrats can't take away our right to bear arms. They're going to need to come up with another amendment if they try to do that. And I can tell you, okay, I'll bookmark that. Thanks, Trader Titan. Coming soon. I can't wait. I want to see a resurgence of... We were on Blog TV for 4 years. Okay, let me make sure I'm not over dramatizing. I'm going to go to one of my outlets, and I've got nobody watching over there. So I'm going to close down that one.
Which one?
It's StreamUp. Let me pull off a StreamUp. I was just testing it out just to see if it was working.
Pull up the other ones?
No, we're okay there.
I know, but do you want to pull up the chat in case someone actually chats there?
Yeah, if you want to pull up the BCAM network, you can.
Or do I just pull up, do you have it on the Bullrock site yet?
I just sent for a password at iVlog, but I'm going to need to. I have not added. I've not added that network to it. No, in fact that's a loud. That'll pop up with a loud sound.
Oh, then close it out. That's fine.
Yeah, but I need to go through here and get that account going again, and we can also start the BCAM network. Okay, thank you. I just pulled off the StreamUp network. It was kind of a hog, a video hog. I'm not ruling that one network out. It's possible. It's an interesting network. They're getting the bugs and all the bells and whistles working and bugs out of it. So, no, David Nation, I've never snorted crack. And I don't smoke crack, and I'm not a crackhead.
Thank you, Pilkins.
Yeah, a lot of you are, trying powder in your life. I don't think that's a good idea. Powder can really be bad for you. I've seen people go from living in a house, independent, to living behind a dumpster in 6 weeks on crack. Oh, okay. So, Barack Obama singing Uptown Funk. I'm not that into Barack Obama. I kind of started this party because I didn't really like his version of changing America. I knew it was a lot of lies and a lot of BS coming out of his mouth. Your pinky nail is long. And why are you telling me this, Ivan? Powder is more than an odd movie. It's actually an addiction that if you are addicted to some sort of a meth or crack or crystal or whatever you're into, you're going to go down a very dark highway in life and you may never come back. I'm just saying, if you were to, smoke pot, it's not going to be that bad for you. I'm not recommending you to smoke pot, but I do want to legalize marijuana. It's the number one thing I will do as president. 58% of the population wants this. I want to do it because I want to open up an opportunity to create new venues for people to make money. You're going to go down a very dark highway in life and you may never come back. I'm just saying, if you were to, there are some people right now. Okay, please unban me. I see this. Yes, you're in there. If you are a person who has done these drugs, just stay away from them. And consider as an alternative marijuana in a state that legally allows it. Okay? Now, when I legalize marijuana, there'll be a 15% tax max. Not like in Washington where they hit them with 75% and people are like getting ripped off now. Colorado's got a better plan, but when we legalize it across the board, we will take precedent. The national sales tax of 15% will be the sales tax, and all the state taxes will be nullified. They won't be allowed to charge a tax on top of the federal tax. We will, however, pay back the states per capita for the number of people living in those states. They'll get money back from the marijuana tax. So we're kind of looking at a big, huge bonanza of opportunity for money to be earned from medicinals, edibles, refinements like dabs, and there's all kinds of new developments in the hash area. But this is a very medicinal product that has grown naturally for centuries, for eons, for millennia, and there's no reason why we would make it illegal in that it is completely medicinal. And it's not physically addicting. A big difference between marijuana and alcohol and marijuana and cigarettes is that marijuana is not physically addicting. Okay, let me show you what we got here. A lot of people don't realize that this is not a popularity contest. This involves actually telling people about our party, about the fact that I'm in favor of legalization. Just start with that. You don't have to go much farther beyond that. That alone is a good start. Legalization, pro-hempoline. Hempoline is going to be a good biofuel we'll be able to mix into our blend of diesel that we offer people. Let me pull this off for now. Diesel itself is it's pretty expensive for a lot of people, and we'll get to the ecological tariff in just a second. So diesel can be reduced in cost. Green diesel runs better, trucks run better on it, but once you convert, you're going to definitely be facing a large clean out of your engine. So we're going to give you a couple of free oil filter changes. We'll voucher you on oil filter changes. But if you go back, that'll be your only 2 free oil filter changes, because a lot of diesel truck drivers are going to go, I don't trust that green diesel. And I can tell you that it burns cleaner, it'll run your engine better and longer.
Clouds are hanging over
And
Europe.
if you convert
The
to
European people.
Now, we haven't even developed it yet, but once we get this thing rolling, it'll be really good for our economy. All right, so I think we've got some good things to go with. Stopping war, legalizing pot, stopping the insane use of GMOs in our diet, stopping the forced vaccinations that's going on around the country now. I will order the governor of California to stop forced vaccination, and Maryland. Parents who are told that they have to vaccinate their kids right now are being told that they could lose their kids or face jail time if they don't have their kids vaccinated.
Think Fuel Jet Meme says, hey, third party, Neil deGrasse Tyson says you can 100% see stars from the surface of the moon with the naked eye. Yet every photo, and even Neil Armstrong clearly
states otherwise.
Yeah,
NASA.
Inconsistency.
An acronym for NASA is never a straight answer. And there's so many inconsistencies about NASA when you look deeply into what they've done over the years. They've done an elaborate case of lying to the American people. And that's another area I'm going to reform. NASA and NOAA will be fused. We will shrink their budget. Combined, they'll be less than $20 billion. Right now, they're over $35 billion combined. We're going to make sure that NASA and NOAA work together to build a business that makes money. NOAA, I don't know if you know this, but NOAA provides all that Doppler radar stuff to the networks for free. They don't make any money on it. So we've got to get a return on investment in every department of this nation. Every government agency has to make money back. We can't just keep throwing money into black holes expecting that to fix the country's problems. Yeah, I am smart enough to evaluate NASA. I can assure you NASA has been a limp and lame agency for a long, long time. You know, the director of NASA said last year that they'll never mine the moon. They haven't been back to the moon in 47 years, so where are they going? What's their real plan? So we really need to get some accountability from that agency, and I don't think they have even a remote idea of what accountability is. They will be reformed. We will stop giving money to Richard Branson and to Elon Musk at SpaceX to have failed operations and failed landing attempts. We're wasting our time there. We need to go back to what really does work. And the rocket program that my mother worked on, the Apollo, Gemini, and Saturn program, those were successful. We can still send a payload into the atmosphere and we can still make money on satellite reconnaissance. So we certainly can make money back. They just have to get back to what they can do as opposed to what they hope to do someday. And robotic involvement will definitely be integrated. We want to bring robots. Unmanned space vehicles are far more efficient than manned space vehicles. Robots don't go to the bathroom in space and don't have to eat. So a lot of reasons why that makes it a lot easier. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some coffee.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Oh, thank you. And Sarah always corrects people's grammars. There's no E in importance. Yes, sometimes they're just invisible, 997. Thank you, Pilkins. Yeah, well, because of the Van Allen belt, some people would say, and yeah, but I want to believe that we went to the moon. I'll say that. Yeah, I would say that was the International Space Station. I think that does exist. Switzerland's idea, I'll look at that, UK idea to pay everyone $2,500 with a job or not. I'll say this, it's mainly on the backs of US pharmaceuticals, probably. All right. Some people think that Russians were first to go to the moon. Oh, really? Interesting. How about the land of Oz? Do I want to believe that too? No. What? Yeah, this one's... You... Alright, so the Swiss government proposes paying everyone £1,700 a month, whether they work or not, in a bid to end poverty, but insists most people will still want to get a job. I kind of think this is an interesting concept, because I kind of think that the idea is to give a baseline plus, where people have a baseline of, in a way, this idea that the Swiss have kind of helps alleviate the tension between the lower poverty issues that happen here in America due to the welfare system that we have, where here in America we have a system where it's like you have to not make a lot of money, you have to have a low enough income to qualify for assistance, whereas the Swiss are saying, hey, if you make money, you get it. If you don't make money, you get it. And this is subsistence vote. So it's up to Swiss residents to actually vote on that. It would be £425 a week, about $1,700 a month, £1,700 a month. And the thing is that this would be interesting. This was approved, a referendum on it was approved by the federal government for the ballot box on June 5th. What's interesting about this is I could see people wanting this. Each child would also receive £100 a week, and each person would get £425 a week. The problem with that would be that if it passes, is that the cost of things might actually increase, because everybody's like, oh, well, everybody has at least £425 a week, so they're going to raise the costs of their goods. So it might, I would just caution Switzerland that it could lead to inflation in their country. It would definitely cost £143 billion a year. $153 billion would have to be levied from taxes, while $55 billion would be transferred from social insurance and social assistance spending. Oh, and this is like, I agree with this survey. There's a survey they cited that said they would continue working if the guaranteed income proposal was approved. Whereas sometimes, and in fact, I think that even more people would work if there was a guaranteed income approved, and if there was a guaranteed income but people didn't actually have to take the income, they would probably, I think that would be fine as well. And Holland is also trying it. It's not going to make them lazier. I believe that it will actually make people more, I think it'll make people more inclined to work, and there will be less anger among people who say, oh, the welfare system, and it could actually save some money, because right now they have, at least here in America, they have to file paperwork in order to qualify for benefits. I do believe in a baseline plus. I think it's a good idea. I do. And that would be giving it to everyone equally, whether you're working or not. Oh, thank you very much. well, I guess some people are wasting their time being here, but if you enjoy it, that's fine. That's kind of scary if Europe's implementing Sharia law. I think some people would be nervous about that. And the future is now, is it not? It's a futuristic concept, and yet the future is now, which would be very good. Yes, thank you, Jonathan89. No one else is offering a real plan for America. I believe in a baseline plus system where we get back to the basics, and then we can build from there. We need to tackle our water issues. Flint, Michigan is a prime example of what we need to do. We need the prime example of the fact that we need to tackle our water issues. We also, so with that, we need to check waterways throughout our country and change them if need be. We need to also build an ocean pipeline that will help desalinate water from our oceans. Those are some of the things that we need to do. Wow. Then I would say food is very essential, and we have an essential food idea where we actually we need to close our loop and actually start by composting, and especially worm composting, so that we can grow our soil, so that our soil can grow even better food. And then also we need to have a system where people can have essential foods. I know some people get upset because people on food stamps go out and buy lobster and prime rib and anything they want, and using their food stamp cards. Meanwhile, which they have to make under a certain amount of money and file lots of papers in order to qualify for their food stamps. But then then they go out and just purchase whatever they want, whereas that some people who are working really hard and they make too much money to qualify for food stamps, but they don't make enough money to feel like they can afford nice meals. Because they're saving, it's very difficult, and there's a lot of tension between those two groups of people. So the essential food program would say, well, we could give a certain amount of food to people, and that would be the food that's grown and purchased by the government. And that's the food that people can have. Well, almost anything can be made into concrete.
Yeah, I came
exactly.
up with,
UK 0121. The basic income idea does give everyone a foundation to grow from. So in Holland and in Switzerland, they're just voting on it, but Switzerland, they're voting on this idea to give everyone a base salary, whether they work or whether they don't work. Everyone gets a certain amount of money.
Yeah. I mean, we even talked about giving everyone food stamps who's U.S. citizens. I mean, you could veritably give it to people who are Wall Street executives. They could get, I got my food stamp card, Sure.
Just give it to everyone, regardless of whether they work or not work. It's not based on income. It should just be based on citizenship.
Yeah. Well, when you think about all the corporate welfare we've given away in the past 16 years under the two parties that have dominated, you wonder how much money they've siphoned off of the country. And, when you look at the balance sheet for the Federal Reserve, and we can't look at the balance sheet because no one's allowed to look at the balance sheet, but when you do look at it, and the projections are that the Federal Reserve has given away $20 trillion in the past 10 years. $20 trillion, and not one American has gotten a penny of that.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. So,
especially when you realize all of our our entire monetary system really is just based on. It's not the monetary system is created. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's
a false illusion.
It's a fictitious monetary system that's predicated on false beliefs. The idea that they can just borrow money endlessly and somehow finance our government. That's how the Democrats have been running the government, by the way, in case you didn't know. They just borrow money every day. Your taxes go into the Treasury that goes to the World Bank to pay the interest on the debt. That's what's happening, in case you didn't know. And they borrow money to run the country. That's why we keep going deeper and deeper into debt, and that's why we are seeing a collapse in our general economy. But that doesn't mean we ourselves can't survive and build a sustainable future. And that's what we have constructed in our book, Hybrid Capitalism. The idea of emerging from the ashes of a failed economy under the two-party system, we will be able to build a much more durable, sustainable economy that's based on barter, as well as our cash. I still think cash is king. I'm not going to give up the importance of cash. Some people think we're headed toward digital currency. I think that's a huge mistake. It could trigger a huge backlash to this nation. We are predicated on the value of our debt notes, our dollars. So
yeah, money is only as valuable as people believe it to be.
You know, let's make America a nation that gets along again.
And I would say America is great, and let's go around and celebrate all the things that make America great.
Yeah.
I mean, you, if you're an American, make America great. Well, even if you're not an American, the fact that you're here participating in this free speech pseudo
platform for communicating,
platform, I mean, that's pretty great.
It's a good thing.
So America is great. Not to say that any other country is not okay.
You know, Donald Trump said that Brussels is a hellhole. He said that last week. And the people of Brussels are pissed off. Europe is pissed off. They don't want Donald Trump to come to Scotland and England. I'm serious. They are very upset at his way of communicating. He's way too brash for them. And to say that Brussels is a hellhole, no. That's just... I've never been to Brussels, but I've been listening to stories on the internet, people blogging from Europe about this. It's not a hellhole. Have you been to Toledo? That's not a hellhole. Have you been to Detroit lately? That's not a hellhole. Have you been to Donald Trump's penthouse apartment in New York? I'm sure that's a hellhole. Yeah. So what is this ecological tariff that I came up with in 2007, 2008? Well, Donald Trump, when he got the idea of my tariff, he said, well, he's going to impose a 30% tariff. So I even heard he was going to put it up to 45% on China, which would kill business. It would absolutely kill business. We would lose so much. You want to look at a house in Detroit right now? And I'll introduce my homestead renewal plan to you. Let's go to Zillow.com. Now, my tariff is 15%. It only applies to countries and companies that do not meet the environmental standards based on human rights, cradle to grave, where that product goes, what dumpster it's going to end up in. But imposing a tariff is an economy killer. It definitely will affect relations with countries like China in a negative. So 30%? No way. 45%? Forget it. You can't do that. You're boring 660, and you're starting to make me wonder, will you ever own a house? Well, I'm going to ask. Let me go to Detroit right now and find a house for you. I don't wear a wig, okay? Look at all these houses. They're $15,000. There's a $15,000 two-bedroom foreclosure in Detroit. I'm just telling you, you can get a nice house. Look at the bones of this house on Princeton Street. Not bad. It's a fixer-upper. It's the interior side. The back of the house needs some work. Let's go somewhere else. Anywhere else? Pick a place. What's your price range? What city do you want to go in? You're so sexy. Thank you. Well, I hope you don't have too much sex with yourself tonight thinking about me. Save it for somebody in your life that you might want to, get to know. Because chances are you and I won't be meeting. You want to go to Alaska? Okay. Anchorage, Alaska. Here we go. Not Arkansas, Alaska. I told it Arkansas. Oh, there it is, Anchorage. Okay. All right. We're in Anchorage. Let's see. We'll roll over a few. 110. Thank you, Eric. I know. Well, maybe we will meet some of the people when our cross-country trip takes place. What's your price range in Alaska? Hawaiian Steel and Amanda are having relations in the chat room here. Barrie, Canada. I just want to see what I can get for 110,000 in Alaska, or 65,000. Here we go. Oh, I had a good one. It just disappeared. 288, 187. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Move on over to Anchorage. Let's see what we got here. You can roll over these things at Zillow.com and they'll give you 3,200 square feet, 75,000. You're at the desk? Look at this. You can live in this lovely tract. It's actually a suburban mall slot where you can have a beauty supply store for only 75,000, but it doesn't have a bathroom. So you can live in your beauty supply store here. Juneau. Okay, let's check it out. Well, that's a pretty bad spelling. Juneau, Alaska. Well, if you can spell something like it, this search engine will figure it out. Yeah, Juneau. Now it's still putting me in. Maybe you want to live in South Carolina. They've got some beautiful homes in South Carolina. Many of you people are having relations in the chat room right now. I mean, I've never seen so many people sext during the show as I'm seeing right now. Yeah, well, I guess many people are going to be having sex with themselves tonight. I don't know. You might want to consider matrimony. Just walk up to yourself and serve yourself a nice glass of champagne and say to your hand, let's get married. And then you'll both walk down the aisle. Dun, 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 dun. And then you'll turn to your hand and say, you're everything I ever wanted in a sex life. Yeah, I know. You've been working all day, working all week, ready for action for this Friday night. Thank God it's Friday. The chat room is climaxing. You really need to get to know your hand better. Ask your hand if it feels right, if it feels comfortable with you. All right. We've all had sex with ourselves. I mean, don't kid yourself. This is a very puritanical society that happens to be incredibly immoral. Can you imagine living in a culture that's so puritanical that it's immoral? It's the weirdest mix of immorality and puritanism I've ever seen. All right. Well, apparently you can't get sex off your mind. Are you sure you're not eating too many beef byproducts? The World Health Organization is warning against those. You may be getting hormones from the hot dog or the taco you've been eating. You like hot dogs or tacos? What's your favorite beef byproduct? I need to go somewhere else. Let me. I gotta think. There's got to be a place that I want to live. Virginia City, Virginia. Now that is going to be expensive because it's right near the White House. I can take a jaunt over there in my Lear. Yeah, I don't have a Lear, but we'll have the Beast or something. You think when Barack Obama finishes the presidency, the whole White House will be completely torn down inside? The walls will be yellowed from all the cigarette smoke. Newport cigarettes have been blown off. I wonder what the White House will look like. On fire there, buddy. Okay, 5 new homes, Virginia. Let's take a look. We're zooming in. These are all... This Zillow is one of the best sites out there. They run and own Trulio, which is another one. 985, 1 million. Alexandria, nah. 330,000, 348,000. Yeah, nothing there. Yeah, I can set my parameters to just show above, but I'm not gonna. I'd be lucky to find 348,000. Whoa. 370,000. Okay. Let's get back to talking about politics. I don't want to sidetrack here. I know many of you want to have a house, so what we've constructed is, no pun intended, a plan called the Homestead Renewal Plan. The White House smells like crack and chicken. White House smells like crack and chicken. Why do you think that, Walton? You want to talk about the hand now? Okay, let's talk to the hand. Well, get to know your hand more fully. Ask your hand if it loves you, can you set it free? You know? Because setting your hand free, you may have roaming hand syndrome, where it's like, have you ever seen that? It's weird. I met a woman who has roaming hand syndrome, and she's like standing there talking to me. Yeah, it was the strangest, most bizarre thing I've ever seen, actually. Yeah, it's like she couldn't stop moving her hand. It was bizarre. I'm not trying to make fun of people who have this, but it does kind of lend itself to the old can't stop because we won't stop. Our hand keeps moving, and it does some evil things. You know? Any minute now.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, we can't stop. We can't
Okay.
stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop.
Can't stop. Let's talk about our homestead renewal plan, getting you guys a house. So let's be clear.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim, America's Third Party.
Woo! Freedom Trucker! You got a big one there. Yeehaw!
For president.
Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop. Woo yeah. Okay. Can't stop. All right. I don't know what's going on with my speakers.
Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight.
All right. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim, America's Third Party.
All right. All right, let's get to the... Thank you. Can't stop. Can't stop. All right, let's talk about building a house. Why build houses when we already have houses? You know? There's 11 million houses in America that could certainly, use a fix-up, a renovation. There's people that are actually offering on our radio channel in our area, kind of like a stay in a hotel and they renovate your house. Isn't that amazing? All right, thank you very much, Amanda. Oh gosh, you got me mixed in there with the other person doing the drums. That's funny. Amanda created that dancing video, the GIF that we have. Funny, it's like a party of 30, but it's really a party of 300,000. 599. Yeah. Good question, though. We've got a massive support group out there on the internet now, thanks to all these people like Freedom Trucker. I don't think you need to keep posting it, though. People are, we need to stop the posting because, calm down. People can't chat, and that's why we're going to open up other chat networks. But anyway, if we had a 15% ecological tariff on countries bringing things into this country, they'd pay that tariff. It would go toward innovations like solar panels on rooftops. It would go toward cleaning up our dumpsters and our landfills, which are a terrible situation. There's a landfill in St. Louis right now that is literally boiling underground and burning, and it's like a cauldron of dumpster, and it's 1,000 feet away from radioactive waste dump from the 1970s. Okay, stop, spammers. Okay, enough. Yeah, this is out of control. Yeah, I think there's a situation going on there. Yeah, so a dumpster fire can be dealt with the ecological tariff. The process of getting ahead of the crisis, the environmental crisis, is really where the ecological tariff is at. I'm going to have to close that chat room down there and open up another one. Did a complete cleanup on my computer last night, and my CPU is running at 100% still. Go figure. Okay, let's talk about some of the stories that have come in tonight. Oh, by the way, the Homestead Renewal Plan offers a chance to actually get a house. We're going to flip houses for the government, and people will get jobs fixing up the house. You don't need any training whatsoever. You'll be able to get a job fixing up a house, and we'll renovate many of those houses that are currently in disrepair and get them back on the market. And you'll be able to buy into the program for as little as $500 a month. You could own a house in 10 years. That's a good plan, and a lot of people want home ownership. A Dutch city is giving away money to test the basic income theory. As you know, I'm not a socialist, so I'm a little bit hesitant to get involved in something like that. But I was listening. I'm not I have no aversion to listening to people talk about things like that. That's one idea that's important. Now let's move on to another idea that's important. Okay, let's see what's happening here. The Swiss government proposes paying everyone $1,700 a month. Okay. But it insists most people will still want to get a job. You see, that stands in the wake of reason. If you give people $1,700 a month, they're just going to live off the dole. They're not going to work. It's really quite absurd to think that they're not going to stop working. And the Voice of Europe.
Have been utterly betrayed by their elites. The magnitude of this conspiracy is unprecedented in human history. Our ruling elite has turned out to be a mere corrupt lackey of global capitalism.
Good, I like this. We're seeing the breakdown of the European nations and the EU by the very people that created the EU, because I think realizing that they can't keep funding it, they were starting to say, well, this was a bad idea. I do not want to be involved in the European Union. So now countries like Greece and suffering completely, Italy, the illegal immigration problem, the refugee crisis, all created by the same group of people that we're looking at, the Rothschilds, Larry Summers. Okay, not Larry Summers, I'm sorry. The head of the European Central Bank. And coming soon to a browser near you. I didn't realize this was coming back. blogtv.ca. Some Clinton emails are too damaging to release. This story was just propagated earlier. We played a bit of it.
Did not see the letter, but added,
There are reviews and investigations going on about past email practices here at the department, and I am simply not at liberty to discuss the content.
the new findings
Okay, yeah. And so Hillary's under scrutiny
are
again.
striking, giving Clinton's first public statement about her personal server.
There is no classified material, so I'm certainly well aware of the classification.
So she's way in over her head now. She can't answer to the 22 classified documents that were just uncovered, or rather covered up. And you know, when I started the show tonight, I started with a discussion of Barack Obama's real father, Mohammed Sabu. This is a real wake-up call for a lot of people. They don't realize that Mohammed Sabu was actually a leader, a founder of the Sabu cult from Indonesia, which was the cult that Barack Obama's mother was involved in, Stanley Ann Dunham. And many people believe that this Muhammad is the real father of Barack Obama. He looks just like him, in my opinion. Very interesting. Good link I got there from somebody. Okay, we'll be getting back into the show in just a second. Hang on. All right. Yeah, Obama is kind of a traitor to our country. That's putting it mildly. He's not building a homestead renewal plan. He's not putting together an ecological tariff. He's not doing anything. Okay, thanks. The video servers are experiencing a rolling blackout, but still hear you. Thank you, 587. I got your message. One big issue with the EU is the mixed language. Then again, that can be a positive. Yeah, but you know, they've never turned the EU into a profit-making endeavor. They've just thrown money at it. And being they've thrown money at it, it's not a successful plan. I don't buy into the global world order or the new world order. I believe the nation-state model is the strong, true model that will always withstand the test of time. I mean, when you look back thousands of years, you see the nation-state model taking over every single time whenever there was a major grab of power like Napoleon. It always went back to the nation-state model. Julius Caesar, Adolf Hitler. Nobody was able to acquire a new world order back then, so why would we get it now? Yeah, the cult of Sabu. The cult of Sabu is the thing you may want to look up. It is a direct connection to Barack Obama and his mom. In fact, the lady that got that birth certificate brought over here, a woman by the name of Loretta Fuddy, she was considered a helper at that cult. And she came on board as a director of the health in Hawaii and made that birth certificate come over to our country, or excuse me, to the continental United States. And it completely was a fraud, complete forgery. And anyone who thinks otherwise has to simply look at Loretta Fuddy. She died an unexplainable death, the only person on board a plane outside of Molokai near Hawaii, about 1.5 years, 2 years ago now. And many people think it's suspicious circumstances because she very well could have answered that question. Was it a fraud? Was it a fake? A forged document? But we can find out simply by talking to experts. They say, yes, it is a forged document. So you've been buffaloed all these years by the Obama administration and the Democratic Party, and you've been told that, you know, this guy's legit. No, he was simply a paid puppet who's put in play. He's never worked through the ranks of the American people or through grassroots organizations. The grassroots organization that the Democrats claim they put together was merely Howard Dean's mailing list. It's a cooked document. It is, Freedom Trucker. And I'm on record talking about it on our blog show. Our Blog TV archives has an interview with Doug Vogt. And we have a lot of information. We talked about how it was binary and halftones mixed together to create that forged document, which shows that it's a copy of a copy of a copy. Alex Jones is a paid pundit. He's considered a shill by many people. Originally, the original Alex Jones was a different guy. He wasn't the same Alex Jones. So what we have now with Alex Jones is a guy by the name of... Well, let me play a little video here for you real quick. It'll give you a kind of a heads up as to who Alex Jones is. I'll let him tell you who he is. He's a man by the name of Bill Hicks. Yeah. And Bill Hicks made a fake death occur in the 80s. And he disappeared. Bill Hicks then reappeared as Alex Jones. The original Alex Jones, though, was different in facial features, slightly different. So whoever this guy he's impersonating, Bill Hicks is impersonating the other guy. But in the origins of the InfoWars and also the other, the Prison Planet, the original person who's in charge of that, Eric, could you stop doing that? Yeah, just stop doing that. Thanks. Yeah, you can't keep doing that, man. You're filling up the chat. All right, well, Alex Jones, here we go. He won't answer to anybody that comes near him. He won't talk about this, but the original people that got Prison Planet and InfoWars, the original domain, was a company called Skunkworks Productions. And that is the arm of Lockheed Martin. So Alex Jones has essentially been a person who was out there constantly pushing his message in order to be heard. You know, he has a lot of strange things that he talks about. I mean, he has a strange mustache ramp. This is an interesting one.
I want people to wake up right now. I want people to listen to me and just come out of your trance. It's normal when you wake up with a bunch of crazy terrorists, jacking the food and water, running everything, and telling me I'm the terrorist because I know they're the terrorist. I mean, come on, it's too ridiculous. Groping this.
So his style is definitely designed to make everything that could be true sound pretty wacky. Okay? Yeah. So it's like, okay, so we're supposed to believe that? You know, most of the stuff he says has merit in it, believe it or not. You could actually find some kernels of truth in everything he says, but bottom line is he's out there to make everybody freak out. So if I were to stand here and go, come on everybody, you're going to be on the red list. You're going to be on the red list, the blue list. They're going to RFID chip you. They're going to turn you into a guinea pig to be experimented on in a prison camp where everyone's going to be stuck and burning to death in some sort of an incineration chamber. I mean, it's fearmonger style, yeah. So here he is talking about who he really is.
Are you rolling? You ready for this?
I'm ready.
I can't believe it's come to this, but they cornered me, I've got to be honest. It's gotten too big. I've just got to admit it right now. Okay. To be more accurate, you didn't get it all, did you? Happy now? You bastards? Yes, I am Bill Hicks.
Okay, so admitting he's Bill Hicks in front of the screen is just it's another ploy. He doesn't want anyone in his own little cadre of supporters to believe he's Bill Hicks. So then he recants it. Those bastards. Yeah, we talk about FEMA camps. I've been talking about everything Alex Jones has been talking about for 7 years now on our Conspiracy Monday show. And I've been telling you this without any benefit whatsoever. I go out on a limb. I'm pretty much an amazing person because I'm willing to take on all the questions that you have. I'll question 911. I'll question what happened on the fateful day of September 11th. You know, so no other presidential candidate will do this. I'm willing to go out on a limb talking about chemtrails every night and how bad the weather modification is for our country and how I'm going to stop that as president. I go out on a limb and talk about GMOs. And as you probably know, Hillary supports GMOs and Donald Trump doesn't even know what a GMO is. He thinks it's a type of underwear. But I'm not here to talk about the other candidates. We have to get down to the fact that our country's been run by corruption for so long that these people are standing in the way of solving the problems facing our nation. I wouldn't know. I'm not a member of the Illuminati. I don't have any secret society background. I'm just an average American like you. I don't kiss JFK's ass, no. But I do like JFK a lot. I do believe that he may have been an incredible womanizer and that's a real dark mark on his character. It is pretty obvious that he may have cheated on his wife numerous times in the wine room, 2 minutes at a time, with various women. Now, you've been asking that all night long. We're beginning to think that TC Radio is gay. Yeah. TC Radio, you are on the gay watch tonight. So if you want to come out of the closet, go ahead. Tell everybody. It's your time to shine. No, I'm not interested in having extramarital affairs with women. I conquered my sexual appetite. Okay, go ahead. What's your question? Light easy? Okay. What's up? What's your question? Okay. Let's talk about your pension. Are you a government worker or a corporate worker?
Yeah, I'm a government worker.
Okay. What are you looking at pension-wise right now for your pension? What do you expect to get?
Well, I know, a lot of people I work with complain about how bad our pension is. I haven't looked at mine into detail, because I'm so young, but I know a lot of people are complaining, and I want to do something about it before I get too deep, and it's too late.
Okay. Is it tied to a 401k right now, or not?
No, it's not.
Okay. Well, you're one of only 16% of the country that gets a pension. I hope you know that. Only 16% of the country gets pensions, and most of you are government workers. So you are in the minority. So what do you want to do? What would you expect as an average pension when you retired to survive on? What are you expecting?
Well, it's not only that. I know our retirement plan is pretty bad too. I think it's 70%.
The director of the National Security Agency has said that former Secretary of State Clinton's...
Okay, run that by me again. I was interrupted by the FBI director dodging questions about Clinton's email. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Repeat that.
But I think that's ridiculous. I think 35 years, 70% at 35 years is ridiculous.
Well, what would that be? What would that be? I mean, if you're making $150,000 a year, that'd be like $100,000.
I'm not making that much.
Okay, well, so you're making 60.
I mean, I've got to put in 35 years before I can collect that much, though.
I know. Well, in 35 years, money's going to change value considerably. I mean, we're going to look at a flexible plan to adjust to the. But I'm looking at a national federal pension comprehensive plan. I don't believe that everybody should be getting what we promised them. So I'm gonna look at $36,000 a year minimum for a pension plan for postal workers, and they're not expecting that. They want $50,000. So
yeah, that seems logical. Maybe I'm not thinking about the big picture.
Yeah, well, I don't want anyone to. I mean, would you be able to survive on $3,000 a month if you're retired and you own your own house?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, because that's what I'm shooting for every average, every current federal employee that is hooked up to a pension plan. But we got corporate employees that are going to be losing their pension plans completely, and that would be a disaster. Okay, Freedom Trucker. Stop doing that.
I like
Thanks.
your idea, though. I think that's I think that's a lot more plausible than what I'm dealing with right now.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling and asking about it, because right now they're giving you all kinds of, kind of misconstrued and ambiguous answers. They're not answering anything. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't have any answers, and I need them. That's why I'm voting Sponheim.
Thank you, man. Well, I'm going to stabilize the pension plan across the nation, and we'll be able to have a comprehensive plan for corporate bailouts, bankruptcies too, which will include this same kind of a plan. I don't want anyone to feel like they've worked all these years and they're going to get stuck, but when all these companies took out tons of money in loans, they offered way too many pensions to somebody. I mean, I got ferry workers on our island that make $85,000 a year at 51 years old, and they're forced to retire at 51.
I'm not even close to that.
I mean, who in the world can qualify? A guy standing there signaling with their hand for 25 years going this way, telling cars to go up the ramp, gets $85,000 a year.
Yeah, see, my job's a lot more...
hands-on.
A lot more... It requires quite a bit of... It's a taxing job.
Really? Wow. So you are working hard. Are you using your hands and your arms? Are you getting carpal tunnel or anything like that? repetitive motion.
Well, I mean, whatever, a firefighter includes. I mean, that's, all of the above. I mean, you're susceptible to all of the above. So
Yeah.
you could get carpal tunnel. You could, just kind of just feel. Yes, it depends, but it's still. I mean, I agree. I think it's bullshit that people. Sorry, but I think it's asinine that factory workers are getting that much money, and people that are dealing with a lot more labor-intensive work.
Yeah.
Getting more money than that.
For sure.
Less money than that. Sorry.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, the FBI gets military-style pensions right now. U.S. military is 50% pensions. Yeah, pretty intense. It's going to be very difficult to see how we could carry the load of money going out to all the government employees. And it's not going to be able to, we're not going to be able to manage it. We're already deep in debt as it is. So cost-saving concerns are a really high priority for me. If I'm going to balance the budget by 2017, I'm not going to be able to just hand out money to really big guys that have been on a retirement plan making $150,000 a year. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So, right. Thank you for calling that.
At least you have a better. What's the word I'm looking for? You have a better plan than most do. You at least have some idea of what needs to happen, as opposed to what other ideas I've heard. So.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I appreciate your advice and count on my vote.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for calling in. All right. Now, take it easy. All right. Later. Bye-bye. All right. Yeah, lots of people concerned about their future. Many people are very, very, well, they have kids. Some people have kids, and they're like, how are we going to feed our kids, honey? I'm like, I'm not going to be able to make it through another year and a half with this company. I know they're going under, There's a lot of people like that. I know a guy who makes $250,000 a year working for a big corporation, and he hardly has anything to show for it. He literally spends it out every year. And I said, what are you going to do in retirement? And he's making $250,000 a year. All right, Freedom Trucker, this is it for you. Take it easy. Bye-bye. He says, I guess I'll be working until I'm 80, dude. I said, you need to stop spending so much. You cannot possibly keep spending like that and expect to not have you can't spend like that and expect to have a nest egg sitting for you when you get to be 65 years old. Anyway, I do not want to raise the retirement age. I had talked about it a couple years ago, thinking that the Republicans might have something there, but no. I don't want to do that. I don't want to raise the retirement age from 65 to 70. Keep it at 65. It works. I don't want to cheat anybody out of the retirement funds, especially a lot of people are retiring with Social Security funds. That's all they have. We are addressing questions in the room. If any of you have any legitimate political questions, feel free, or I'll go back to looking for houses in whatever area of the country you want to move to. I bet you could get a pretty cheap house in Las Vegas. Yes, and believe me, Amanda is an American, so stop attacking our American supporters here. Okay, so your parents are both on Social Security now and receive 3 cows combined. That's not bad. Good job. That's rare when you see that. Some people are breaking up, divorcing. Some people are breaking up and getting divorced just to collect 2 separate Social Security checks. Is that what your parents did? Hey, Dale.
Hey, what's up, Bonheim?
Not much, man. Just listening into questions from the audience. What's your question?
I don't know. I didn't really have time to think it through. I didn't think I'd get in.
Oh, well, we don't have the kind of rotary systems like the radio systems do. We just take phone calls. It's that simple.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you're pro-legalization of marijuana?
Yes. Pro-legalization. All the way.
I'd have to agree with you on that, but I'm not only pro on marijuana, I'm also pro on all drugs. I think we should make all of them legal.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
I don't have I'll give you an answer. I don't have a 100% backing on that. I will tell you this. If 2/3 of the country want to legalize all drugs, I will go with it. All right?
I'll go with it, too. I think I should have the right to smoke methamphetamine, don't you?
I don't think so, no.
It's my body.
Yeah, you may think it's your body, but But it's really, I believe everything synthetic going into your body is going to kill you, including diesel from trucks.
All those GMOs.
Yeah, GMOs. So I'm not in favor of having you die from all the crap that you're consuming. So I can't really agree with you there. I'm going to try to clean up your environment. So if you think that methamphetamines are more important than smoking some really good dab, and you get a better high from meth, which I doubt, then continue on your plan. But like I said, if we get 2/3 of the country want to legalize all drugs, I will go with that concept. Okay, 2/3.
Well, I guess we're driving on parallel interstates when it comes to our views on meth, but I agree with you. And that's why I'm going to cast Sondheim as my vote.
Thank you.
In November.
All right, we got another voter. Yay! Right on.
Thank you for taking my call, Sondheim. I didn't expect I'd be on.
No, you can call again later. Appreciate it. Anytime you want to call in.
All right, I will.
All right.
I will call again later. Shout out to Eric von Falkenheim.
All right, Eric. Thanks for calling, man. Sorry I had to purge you earlier. Okay, Eric is in the room calling from another I'm going to get a better phone because that speaker's shot. Here we go. Now, somebody told me that my whole house was bugged the other night, and it got the bug in my mind that maybe the phones are bugged. Maybe we could, that somebody could listen into all of our conversations even if the phone's not active. So I put all my phones in this room, so either way, I'll be recorded. A lot of people are pro-drugs, all legalization. This is going to shock you, but Dick Cheney, our former vice president under George W. Bush, he's pro-drugs, pro-legalization of all drugs. Okay, Eric, that's not you. I'm sorry. All right. Chicago police have been sabotaging their own dashboard cameras. This is the bulk of our show when we start looking at some of the links that have come into our show tonight. Just when you brought the scandal-ridden Chicago Police Department was ready to collapse under the weight of its own idiocy, it goes and does something like this. 80% of dashboard cameras in the CPD, Chicago Police Department patrol vehicles don't record audio, either because officers are actively or are activating them incorrectly or because they're intentionally damaging or concealing them. The troubling revelation sheds light on what happened on the night of October 20th, 2014, when Officer Jason Van Dyke, who was recently released on a bond after being charged with first-degree murder, shot and killed a 17-year-old unarmed black boy named Laquan McDonald. The incident was recorded by multiple dash cameras, but many of them did not record the audio, including Van Dyke's. Jason Van Dyke. In Van Dyke's case, the reason for this is now clear. He'd intentionally made his camera not work. The 15-year veteran took the camera from his patrol car to the department's maintenance team. 3 months after reporting it broken and repairs were completed, the next day the camera was suddenly broken again. Wow. So they're revealing the willful attempt by officers to shut down any transparency in the police department. We need a lot of changes there. Laquan, yeah. Have you met Laquan? Did you buy Skittles with him at the local liquor store? Okay, this is an idea that Meow TV has suggested for our country. This is an idea of building not only the 1,000-mile fence that we talk about, but also a moat. Dredging a moat along the Rio Grande. And maybe putting sharks in it. Any ideas on that? Anyone who wants to comment about moat can certainly talk about that. Well, the fact of the matter is, police are killing people left and right in our country. Trayvon, I thought, was killed unnecessarily by George Zimmerman. I believe that he could have been, he should have never been in a citizen's patrol with a weapon, and he should never. Now, honestly, you can carry weapons in that state. You can actually claim you have the right to defend yourself in that state, stand your ground. But he got out of the car and hunted Trayvon down. That's something that I don't believe was in the purview of his and scope of his job. The fence would be installed with illegal alien prisoners. And they will pull the fencing from existing FEMA camps across the country. The illegal alien prisoners won't be pulling the fencing unless we take them up there to Idaho. in places we don't need fencing. TC Radio, this is your last warning. You will be banned from the show if you continue promoting other shows. You want me to turn guest chat off? Why? No, we don't need FEMA camps with all kinds of fencing around them. People aren't going to be killed. It'll keep people from being, turned into concentration camp victims. Hey, hello, you're on the air. Go ahead. Hello, what's up?
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Are you questioning the government? Are you questioning what our policy is? What's your question?
I'm questioning the policy of Obamacare and how it's affecting us.
Oh yeah, what a nightmare. Sure.
I know, right?
Oh yeah, I mean Oklahoma won't even acknowledge Obamacare. It's a bad word in Oklahoma. People are really quite unsure as to what to do. Many people are not insured still, and they don't have to be insured since most of the people aren't making more than $62,000 a year. But the ones that are making over $62,000 a year have to be insured. So the whole thing is kind of screwed up. It was a very bad plan to start with, and I will rescind it every way I can. I will nullify it. We're coming up with better plans to fix the country's health care problems. Obamacare is a joke. Even the website costs $2 billion. It's insane.
Wow.
Yeah. The website costs $2 billion. Every time you click on the Obamacare word, our government has to pay Google $1. Isn't that amazing? It's unreal.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, you want to waste the American government's money, just keep clicking on Obamacare. I shouldn't say that. People will. Yeah, well, what about your health care? I mean, would you be okay with $60 a month? Would you be able to afford that? Or do you just want to get coverage in general? Because right now Medicare is about $50 to $60 a month.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with 60 to 50.
Okay, 50 to 60, right in there. Okay.
Yeah, that seems fine, but the price is going up and up and up.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, they keep charging.
Ridiculous.
They charge more. The doctors they want to buy a new Lexus.
It's more like $500 to $600 a month.
Yeah, they want to buy a new car. They want to buy a new house. They want to buy just anything and everything.
Wow. Well, the thing about the doctors and many of the administrators, in our healthcare plan, they're not going to make more than $150,000 a year. And I will cover their medical malpractice insurance included in that deal. So all of our public hospitals and all of our nonprofit hospitals will have this comprehensive plan where we will get set fees for all of our procedures. We will have it listed on a website. You'll know how much an x-ray costs at your local healthcare provider that's public. If you want to go to a private one, that won't touch the private system. I'm not going to touch private healthcare. I'm going to keep that hands off. But the public system, any administrator cannot make more than $150,000. And then there's some right now making $800,000 to $1 million a year. So we don't want that. Once we get the cost of their incredible salaries down and the cost of the medicine and the cost of all that under control with more generic alternatives, we'll be able to scale out healthcare for every American, dental and medical included. Basic dental, medical for $60 a month. And that's not mandatory. You won't have to do this. It's just if you want the comprehensive plan. If you don't, we have another plan called mobile medical units that can treat you in any way you need treated with immediate health care in your area. And we're going to have about 200 of these units rolled out by 2017. I'm going to be rolling out these mobile medical units at the VA system. And the mobile medical VA system is what we're looking at right here. This is a typical unit that Minnesota uses. But you can imagine the ones that I want to build will actually have with them canopies, areas to sit. You can imagine like a tent sitting on top of... Let me draw you a picture here.
Yeah.
The whole area will be tented. And just a large tent right there. And then on the side of the vehicle, we'll have an LED TV to watch, and we'll have seating in here. This is just a real rough sketch of everything. People will be able to wait. We'll have a security guard. In the back of this unit will be a pharmacy. offering medical marijuana and generic medicine at a very affordable price. The system will make money because we'll be selling product, and we'll be able to implement this entire process through the mobile medical VA system without congressional approval. It's a plan that actually makes more sense to me than anything else I've seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I just say you're a massive faggot?
Are you investing in agates? I didn't know agates were a very popular gemstone right now.
Agates are kind of cool.
Yeah, I prefer diamonds. They say diamonds or crystals are nice.
Quartz crystal, it's kind of cool.
I have some amazing jade. I can't seem to find a market for it, but agates, I don't know if they sell very much. Yeah. Okay, I'll be right back. Thank you. We're so tired of people that. Sorry, I purged you, 880. It wasn't your fault. We're so tired of people that just don't take this seriously, folks. The reason why a lot of you come into our room is because you don't have an alternative with Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, but you do here.
David's fine.
So it's really sad to see that many of you are forgetting the importance of a very, very strong couple of Americans doing a daily show for the past 7 years, 3 hours a day, over 7,000 hours. And what that means to a lot of supporters is that we keep pressing on through the thicket of BS that you throw at us. There's nothing you can do to stop us. All right.
All right.
Trump has a grumpy business face, yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Friday night. Is Mad Dog here? I wanted to say thank you. Because my got something from him, so that's very fantastic. Early birthday gift, which is great. So tell him thank you for me, Laura, if you see him. Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah, it's cool. A week from tomorrow will be my birthday. Getting a little bit older, getting a little bit wiser. That's it's all good. I enjoy my life. I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy being here with you. So that's good. I'm glad that you're here with us. It's fun to spend your Friday night here at America's Third Party and relaxing, chatting. It's all good. Just checking other things. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. I am young in heart forever. And as David points out, I'll always be younger than him. So even if I do get older, I'll be younger than David. So that's all good. I'll always be his young lady. No. Well, the hair that David is sporting his own hair tonight. Every once in a while he'll put on a wig, but tonight is not one of those nights. The last time I think he wore a wig was Halloween when he was imitating Donald Trump. No, you don't. So, you don't have to answer the phone.
Oh, I know. I'll take it.
I'm not answering the phone. I refuse to. Just because the phone rings doesn't mean you have to answer it. I learned that during meditation. He doesn't have any of that, 715. Yes, I am sure. It's all completely natural. I've run my fingers through his hair. Yeah, I don't think so. 599, I don't think so. Yeah, I really do enjoy my life. No, I don't know what you're talking about. What's this a picture of? Scissor fights? Hillary says, if you're too dangerous to fly in America, you're too dangerous to buy a gun in America? Yeah, and if you're so Hillary, if you're under FBI investigation, you're too dangerous to be president. I do like that. Too dangerous to be president. That's good. All right. Scrolling down. I don't know why I would. Wow, 599. I'm glad I don't live where you're living or have to deal with that kind of thing outside my house, at least now. You're gonna go get the camera ready and post it if it's a fight. That makes sense. Just don't get hurt. The State Department says Hillary Clinton's email correspondence contained top secret material. What? Yeah, that's funny. Alright. The latest developments in the Flint water crisis. Residents were warned that water samples from more than 24 locations have higher lead levels than can be treated by filters that have been widely distributed. Wow. A federal judge on Friday denied bond for Ammon Bundy and other military members of a group that occupied a federal wildlife facility in Oregon. Facebook is moving to ban private gun sales on its site and on Instagram. I didn't realize they were owned by Instagram was owned by Facebook, but that would make sense. I would say, as far as my perspective on that, Danny, I'm in favor of education, prevention, education and prevention. I'm pro-education, pro-prevention. I'm in favor of preventing any unwanted pregnancies, and I'm in favor of educating a woman about all of her options, that especially the option of adoption, the father of the child might want to raise a child, and however, ultimately, I do feel it's a woman's decision. Okay. So Wall Street surged over 2% on Friday. The Bank of Japan cut interest rates, and Microsoft led a major rally in technology shares. Interesting. Xerox is moving to split itself in two following pressure from Carl Icahn. It was going to try to combine services with its traditional office machine business, but now it's going to be splitting into two companies. Well, I would encourage all of you to become foster parents. That's what I would say if you are in favor of, if you're a pro-life person, become a foster parent. And adopt children. How many children have you adopted? Especially the need to adopt high school students. Yeah, I have heard more use WhatsApp, but that is owned by Facebook. I tend to agree with you, Giraffe Brain. I use Twitter. Yeah, I don't use Twitter properly. That's probably true. Okay. For the third time in 4 years, world powers have been have persuaded warring parties in Syria to come to Switzerland and try to figure out a way to stop the killings. That's interesting. So it's not like people in Syria aren't trying to end the war. He'll try, 715. He'll try, for sure. NASA or NSA documents show that the US and UK spied on Israeli military drones. There's an investigative report by The Intercept. CNN. Facebook is like VHS. It was popular once, coming soon. Now what do you think is popular, UK? Facebook only for old people. I gotta check out this article so I can know what's the new thing, because otherwise I'm getting old. I'm getting old. Jump the shark once parents and old people got on it. Okay. So this is a pro Facebook guy. Facebook and Twitter. Facebook, Snapchat, become popular. Alright, Yik Yak is an anonymous Twitter, Instagram. Alright. Thank you. What's up with you, TCR Radio? What does TCR stand for? Hello, Fred the Trucker. Hey, Sarah, I love you. You're ignoring TCR Radio? Why? Hawaiian? Well, obviously you're not ignoring him. By stating that you're ignoring him, it goes completely against ignoring him. Oh, okay. That's come back into vogue, TCR? Interesting. America's Third Party for the win. There you go. Did you catch that? I know I have a lot of different things going on behind my head. Maybe I should take out some of these things behind my head and then you can do it again. What is that? Where did it go? What happened? Whatever I'm on. This one? There we go. Alright. And then what else do I have? David likes to keep the background busy. America's Third Party for the win. There you go. You wish you weren't. Okay. Would have. Oh, he doesn't like guests. Well, you know, sometimes the guests can troll. And the thing is, it takes a lot to be troll-proof. No, it took me a while to become troll-proof. I had to get all calloused. You know, it might look like I have good skin, but it's really just calluses. All of it's callous. I become more callous in my heart. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
So I made a special trip to the post office today just to get this. You want to?
Isn't that cool?
Is Mad Dog here?
He's not here.
Oh, okay.
But that's awesome.
That was nice. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's zoomable.
Yeah.
I've never seen a zoomable one before.
Ow.
Ooh, what happened?
Oh, just my leg.
Uh-oh.
It's like the back of my leg is, you're ready to see it? Alright, here we go. The unboxing. I go. There you go. My camera's not very focused. It's a flashlight. Not a mic. It's a flashlight. If I had it on, you'd see into my mouth right now. It's pretty cool because I was saying that I need a high intensity flashlight.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that this, if you can't take a weapon with you, you can take this with you.
Mm-hmm.
You like shine it right in your eyes.
Yeah, I don't trust the laser ones. You know, some of them have lasers in the middle, and you're looking at, if you look at it and you go, oh gee, is this light working?
And this is,
the laser turns on, and you're like,
my birthday's 1 week from tomorrow. This is
very nice.
Birthday present.
It was a birthday present from one of our supporters. Thank you so much. I'll talk to him tonight. What's the deal?
Because we were talking about how we're pro Second Amendment here, and then I was talking about how certain places I go, you're not allowed to carry a weapon. And so, anyway, I was saying, we got around to the conversation, like, even though you can't carry a weapon, they said when I went to this defense training course for women, it was run by some retired police officers, they said a high intensity light is very good because you can shine it right in the person's eyes. I do like it, thank you.
Mace is good too. In some states it's legal.
Except you can't carry mace into
Not in your
places
job,
that are
no.
weapons-free places
I know.
where you can carry something like this.
And this has some weight to it. You know, it's almost like brass knuckles. You know, you put it in your hand, it's like a pack of quarters.
Yeah, or even better, you just swing it around by this.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Then you have like your little nunchucks.
I should tell you about the nunchuck antidote.
Oh, I haven't.
Antidote.
Not yet. I didn't know about that one, Alara. It hasn't come yet. There's 2, right?
Oh, we haven't seen that yet, no.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to sign that more. But yeah.
When I'm on your protective detail, I'll be able to carry one of those myself. I hope.
Oh yes, you can become on my protective detail. I know you were on my protective detail for quite some time, and now I have to protect myself.
Well, you know, we parse off the duty of being defender and offender. You know, either one of us can defend or offend.
I just don't like to be offensive.
Me either. I've tried very hard to avoid being offensive in my life.
I don't offend anyone.
I've offended a lot of people. Just looking the way I do offends people. Wherever I go, people are offended by the way I look. So I can't really help myself there. But once you've offended somebody, you know, you're never going to be liked by everybody. So you say, oh, whatever, you know, water off a duck's back.
They're awesome. 6009 has
all right.
of these
Broadcast in Iowa. Awesome. Well, we've got a great plan for Iowa. We want to get GMO out of our farming community. We want to stop the GMO takeover of our nation. So farmers across the nation are going to love that. And legalization of marijuana will be a big thing for our country. I think that will help farmers deal with fallow fields that are having drought problems. You can plant some
that was a
hemp
whole point,
or something.
David, when you had the thing over there, they all thought you were in a different location. They thought you were in Iowa, and I was like interviewing you from a different location.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, let me see.
That's what they said.
Oh, okay. We're here in Iowa. Yeah, go ahead. I'll just pretend like it.
Hey, David, how's the campaign trail going?
I have to get out of this. Well, I'm here in Iowa, Sarah, and things are ramping up. We've got Hillary Clinton, who claims she's a robot. She told a couple of people recently that they asked her, why don't you sweat? And then she said, because I'm a robot. She said, I'm not really a human being. And I'm going,
oh, wait, I can't look at you. What about those emails that were recently revealed on her,
This is a very bad place for Hillary, because if she continues to get in this quagmire of not answering questions, it's looking very bad, like she's guilty of something. And I think the overwhelming consensus among Democrats is that she's guilty, and they don't really like Bernie. Bernie's a little bit too socialistic for most Democrats, so I'm a centrist, former Democrat of 30 years, who sides with a lot of the fiscal conservatives out there, even the Tea Party on some issues. I want to get the country to be fiscally sound. I don't want to have a massive credit debt to other nations, and I also want to get our country back on its feet with new production.
Do you hear anything from those Iowan farmers talking about GMOs in their crops or anything like that out there?
Yep, we've been talking about farming problems here. GMOs are obviously a downstream immune system is affected. The livestock is affected. The GMO alfalfa that these Iowan farmers are having to put in their feed is a Justice Department attack on Monsanto itself and their attempt to try to profit from all the farmers. We're going to actually use the precedent that the Supreme Court ruled last year, that you cannot patent a human genome, as the precedent to not patent any carbon-based organism. And that'll prevent all of you farmers from having to pay them big royalties over the next 10 years or however long you're going to be. And that's the thing, these farmers, they don't even want the seeds, and they're still forced to pay for them if that seed blows over into their yard, which is ridiculous. That should have been overturned 10 years ago.
So you're telling the farmers that they can save their seeds. What do they think of that idea? They like that?
Yeah, they're real happy about it. And, the fact is we're, I'm just trying to stay warm out here in the field. It's got an eagle flying over my head. It's been nonstop ever since we got here. But he looks a little like he has rigor mortis. I'm not sure if he's parked there in space. No, it's been a pretty good trip overall. I'm glad I made the trip out here. It was worth the 2,000 miles of driving through the night to get here and have bloodshot eyes, so I can't even show you my eyes.
I'm sure all of the people in Iowa appreciate it. We appreciate your campaigning, David. And I want to say thank you very much. Signing off.
We'll see you later, guys.
And then I have to click this so it's
there we
move
go.
over and this moves over.
More often. I like that. That's fine. Anyway, yeah. Part is just us talking like we're even not here. Look at the new tax hikes starting from Obamacare. I know, dog. I know. That's what I'm talking about. Obamacare is just rip-off health care. That's all it was. It's the Obamacare rip-off health care plan. I mean, could we just extract the word Obama from our vocabulary and start back in 2007 and redo this again? Can we just do that?
Yes.
Okay.
The Field of Dreams does exist. I drove by it, and David is living the dream.
Yeah. Well, I decided to enjoy the dream of home ownership, and I wanted to share that with everybody, so we came up with the concept of a homestead renewal plan. The State Department is not going to release 22 critical top secret emails that Clinton had, and she said she didn't have any top secret emails, so I believe that
David is running for president.
Yeah, these are actually really expensive. They cost me $10. They're Chaps. They're original Chaps sunglasses. They're from the company Chaps that was founded in 1978, in which I have a few items from the Chaps company. It's one of those great companies because it was founded the same year Sarah was born, 1978. I'll never forget it.
1 week from tonight.
I was driving down the freeway, singing to myself, driving over Canaan, singing to myself. I was singing that I wondered when the woman in my life would appear. And I was thinking to myself, I believe it was February, I was thinking to myself, wow, wonder what she's going to be like. And then it was like, boom, it just hit me. Oh my God. And it was like it popped in my head. She's being born right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the weirdest feeling. I show me my I'm drawing a tear just thinking about it. But I had this weird premonition that the woman I'd be spending my life with was being born right at that moment. Agent Anderson. I'm Agent Johnson. Good evening. So it was a kind of like an apocalyptic, premonitional kind of big moment kind of thing. And I was like, wow. And I even have a picture of me right around that time. A little anecdote we can show you of me in 1978 when I was, somebody told me if I got a few pictures I could get, you know, a career in Hollywood, the old line, the BS that people tell people. And I went out and I spent $300 on some photographs of myself. And I had those pictures right around that time. I think March, in fact, the following month, I went out and had these pictures taken. That's 1978. I'm not a shill. No, I'm just an average Joe, you know, who really believes that this country needs an honest couple to lead this nation. We can't possibly keep relying on these corporate, corrupt, dynastic, super wealthy people that just don't have any clue as to how to fix the country. So full of ideas. Sponheim, that's right. Great ideas. We're just now re-expanding our website. We haven't really, you know, quite sunk into it yet again, but we've got a new format we're working with and a new model. So hopefully we'll have those ideas spelled out for you in clear detail on a bump page.
Ooh, this looks good. NSA's chief hacker explains how to keep the NSA out of your business.
There you go. You don't want to have your cordless phones in your house. You know, somebody told me they were listening into all our conversations, and I said, well, the only thing that they could possibly tap into is this cordless phone. Well, the Fonzie look was just, the photographer had a bunch of stuff to put on, and I just threw some clothes on and made a different look, and I did this kind of rendition of myself back then. That's all it is to it. Okay. Any other things?
No, I was going to look.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. We'd like to bring some stuff into the show. Let me show people what you're looking at, because that's interesting. BGR.com. Haven't been to that site. That's interesting. NSA hacking story here Sarah's looking at. Now go ahead. Thank you. We can read chat too, so we're talking and chatting and watching and reading. The level and reach, the breadth of the NSA surveillance system.
Basically, the NSA has a tailored access unit, TAO, is the elite of the elite. Its members are capable of gaining undetected access to intelligence targets that have proved the toughest to penetrate through other spying techniques.
Wow. So what are the methods? Disconnect your battery from your cell phone? I mean, you gotta wonder. I'm the office worker from the YMCA song? No, dude, I'm not.
He didn't disclose any classified methods or anything like that, but
yeah. In the world of advanced persistent threat actors like the NSA, credentials are king for gaining access to systems. Note, not the login credentials of your organization's VIPs, but the credentials of network administrators and others with high levels of network access and privileges that can open the kingdom to intruders. Per the words of a recently leaked NSA document.
NSA hunts sysadmins.
They hunt sysadmins, is what the NSA
System
works on.
administrators.
They try to get inside to the heads of every single server out there and control the heads of those servers. Wow. Somebody asked me about my time in Hollywood. Well, I was one of my first jobs. I had 3 jobs when I was 17, 18 years old. I was working 3 jobs for a long time there. One of them was working at a bookstore on Hollywood Boulevard. And somebody said, well, didn't people harass you? And yeah, definitely. I got a lot of harassment. People thought that, they could pick on a good looking guy out there in that area. So I got out of that area and moved over to Santa Monica, where I spent about 8 years working in retail. But I had some weird experiences. I mean, I can honestly say even Rock Hudson walked up to me and hit on me, which is really weird coming from a guy dying of AIDS. So being a heterosexual man, has been very difficult throughout my whole life to be accosted by these sick freaks that call in.
Video of it.
So, oh, you got a video on it?
Yeah.
Okay, how long is that video? Let's take a look. 34 minutes on YouTube. Let's go to YouTube and set that up for tonight. This will be good tonight. Yeah, this is how to protect yourself against against the onslaught of NSA eyes in your life. I believe it's a total abridgment of our freedom, Sarah, that these people at the NSA think they can just, continue on their attack. Dude, your gaydar is so screwed up. You probably voted for Barack Obama thinking he wasn't gay when clearly he's totally homosexual. I mean, it just blows my mind how screwed up the gaydar and some of these people's minds is. All right. You know what's going on is they're so bi-curious themselves and so unsure of their sexuality that they're having a homosexual panic.
Could be.
Where they think that they, and they're so attracted to me that, they can't control themselves. I see a lot of people in the room that act almost out of some sort of a projection, psychological transference of some sort. I'm glad I'm not a psychologist, because if I was, I'd be, looking at a lot of you people going, oh my God, you need serious treatment. All right. Well, thanks. That was awesome. Sarah's going to sign off for tonight?
I'm going to almost sign off for tonight.
You need a good break, and I'll join you tonight for some shows. And I made a stew, by the way.
Oh.
It's on the stove.
Oh, I just had some of your pasta salad.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to heat it up for later. It's we can have it later. Just, in fact, if you go in there, turn it off.
Okay, I will.
It's just the third heating.
Oh, no. I'll have some.
No, it's not for you. No, I'm saying you can heat it 3 times. The stew gets better and better every time you heat it.
That's true. Okay, I'll turn it off for now.
Yeah, just turn it off. Yeah. See you later, Sarah. Good night.
Such good food. Thank you.
Well, let me tell you, partner. I can't even imagine having the government involved in my personal life and telling me that I have to have a marriage contract. Explain to me where in the Constitution the government can breach the separation of church and state. I believe it's the 14th Amendment, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's a breach between the church and state. It's pretty profound. The interpretations, the case precedent. I'm really surprised that our Supreme Court even ruled on the issue of same-sex marriage. Now, as you know, I don't mind men and men getting together, women and women getting together, whatever consenting adults want to do. But at the same time, I'm a little bit freaked out that they want everybody to submit to the government control of their life and give them their secret password to their personal life and have them in their bed with them. I mean, is the government going to be parked in between Bill and Ted, or Julie and Betty? I mean, are they going to be there in bed with them? Because that's what it seems like. Yeah, it's like, excuse me, honey, but do you mind? I don't want to get a prophylactic. I'd like the NSA to watch this. Yeah. They should be watching us, too. Don't you think this sex act should be seen by millions of people? Hillary wants to put Obama in the Supreme Court. I think Obama should be actually charged by the Supreme Court, Dow. I will be implementing a plan to get oversight over Obama's history. We'll look into the detailed background that he has in Mombasa. There are people in Kenya right now that actually say, oh yes, Barack Obama, born in Kenya, in Mombasa, yes, very proud to have the first American president born in Kenya. I'm serious. Yeah, the richer the guy, the hotter the chick. Dave for the win. Hey, Shrek. Nice to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. But the reality is not quite so good, Mr. Anderson. The thought that we are somehow independent from the Matrix is absurd. It's clearly obvious that the Matrix is everywhere, Mr. Anderson. It is embodying the world we live. Yeah, so it's good to see you. You know, I'm glad you made it into the show, because a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to get into a show like ours now. We've got another option coming up with Cool Rock being born. The Cool Rock Network will eventually have spillover chat rooms for people. Some people are getting Streamcast issues that are just, endless. It says server capacity, And they don't even tell you. Just hit refresh 23 times. Okay, let's take a look here at the remainder of what we have on queue for tonight. I'm looking at my, we've got the Enigma Chief on Disrupting Nation-State Hackers. That's on the queue for tonight on our network. We'll be watching that. Very good. Dropping out of that, just moving over here. North America being bathed in radiation from Fukushima. Alarming levels now 1,000 times above normal for alpha particles. All right. That was my concern. So we are definitely being slammed and the government isn't talking about it. So folks, I will be addressing the Fukushima issue as your president. Donald Trump won't even talk about it. Bernie Sanders doesn't want to talk about it. Clearly, the two parties wants to ignore the most important, most disturbing issue in the world. This is really happening. 455, you're in denial. You know, there's been an alarming number of microcephalic children born with small heads. Have you heard about that? Cruz is a Canadian, yeah. A lot of kids born mutated with small heads down in Brazil. Last year it was 732. The year before it was 125. And they are unable to attribute it to the Zika virus. So don't buy into the Zika virus thing. Yeah, and let's talk about cancer too and the cancer industry. Right. One of the things I want to do for people who are suffering from cancer is I want to fast track. What I want to do is have an Andromeda strain group at the National Institute of Health comprised of experts in their field, but who are in retirement years, who could work around the clock. And I know a lot of retirees that have insomnia. I'd like to get some really good top knowledge people from, you know, all different fields to come together, a meeting of the minds, and do an Andromeda strain medical 24-hour, 24/7 solution to cancer project. Love Mai Tai, thank you. Well, Mai Tai loves you. Would you like to have a Mai Tai? We can talk about it. I don't drink, but I can watch you get drunk. All right. Yeah, look up George Soros. Yeah, let's look him up. George has funded all of these major paid rioter groups like Ferguson, St. Louis. The situation in Baltimore was funded by George Soros. George Soros tried to control the decision for the internet to be run as a utility by the FCC. He made a sizable donation to Obama's cabinet. Everybody got donations. And that FCC now has the entire internet under their microscope and is now using it as an opportunity to basically give more access to Google, basically, under the guise of offering more high-speed access for you, the internet user. So they're going to use that method to create the Google intranet, which will eventually take over the internet. Thank you, Guest 477. I appreciate that. You're voting for me and you're in Iowa. I appreciate that. That's great. Well, just remember the farmers are number one in my mind. You guys are everything. You're the breadbasket of this country. And I really see it falling apart under the Democrats and Republicans. They just aren't thinking clearly. GMOs are not good for the soil. Glyphosate is not good for our bodies. Dow Chemical, Monsanto have got to take a back seat to this. I'm going to have to get them negotiating in front of cameras on C-SPAN and get them to talk because we need to get more organic input into this entire process. I spearheaded a program to get organic food in the markets in the 1980s. I actually built a company. I established a company in California and got organic food promoted across the nation. I did a lot of marketing. Press kits went out all across the nation, and I kind of kick-started the organic movement in the 80s. So that's one of my claims to fame, but I didn't make a lot of money on it. I just promoted it. Sometimes you can just promote things, and it's good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And welcome to the Mutual Admiration Society, where you thank me for the tie, and I say thank you. Okay, new TDAP vaccine is causing the microcephalic problems in Brazil. You know, that's entirely possible. I'm not going to rule that out because the Zika virus could be a very real thing, and there could have been a modified GMO mosquito that Bill Gates was behind that could have created this massive spread of this disease. However, the symptoms of microcephalic children happen to mirror the effects of radiation. Boing. Okay, let's see what this is again. No, I don't want to go there. Next. Okay, this is our queued up show tonight. Again, queued up show. Yeah, so is it a Fukushima crisis or is it the Zika virus crisis? Fukushima, Zika virus. Thoughts? Who knows? But we do need to test and find out exactly what the hell's going on. We are over here. Hello. Hey, I see you over there. You're right there on the globe. I see that. Yeah. We're talking to are you in Africa, in Somalia right now? What part of the world are you in, 382? Let me guess. Australia. Am I right? We're not going to talk about Stacy. Yeah. Soros is like the top hat Nazi bankroller of previous leftist regimes. You're absolutely right, Guest 808. Yeah. Soros is actually a person who witnessed his uncle pulling teeth out of the dead Jewish people in the concentration camps in Germany. That's the origin of George Soros. Walking around, looking at all those bodies with the gold teeth being pulled out. Well, yes, Nazi is National Socialist, which is leftist. Sorry. Beep, you're wrong.
No!
You are incorrect. Fact checked is not checked by any other organization. Fact checked is an Annenberg Foundation outlet for disinformation. You didn't know that? Fact check is owned by the left-wing regime. George Soros practically runs it. So when you go to factcheck.org and ask about George Soros, you're like going to the horse's mouth and saying, "Do you have bad breath?" I'm not aware anybody's running against me. Specifically, there's over 462 people in the write-in category running against me. Bagface is not a legitimate name. He is not actually a person by that name. I did a search for Bagface, and I was unable to find anyone by that name anywhere in the world. And this was a pretty intense modified outreach through multiple geospectrum analysis tools, using every parameter. There is no Bagface in the world, per se. Yeah, so he doesn't exist. He's just a person with a bag over his head. You know that you could do your own Bagface video and call it Bagface? There's nothing he can do to stop you? Are you aware of that? Oh, yeah. Is Mad Dog in the house yet? Mad Dog in the house, yeah. Well, we saw the beautiful flashlight. Oh my God, this is amazing. This is the gift he gave Sarah for her birthday. Please do not support other people in the room or I will ban you. That is a bannable offense. You are hereby notified. Yeah, so it zooms in. I don't know if you know it's LCD or LED or what it is, or kryptonite bulb or something. I'm back. I have an amazing I have an amazing message for the country. And it's not about the Zika virus or the Fukushima crisis. That's certainly important to me, but not as important as the 36 children that died in the war-torn Syria from UN measles vaccines. Government claims vaccines were intentionally sabotaged. It isn't as if the current civil war in Syria has not already taken a ravenous toll on the Middle Eastern country. But the children, they've been administered measles vaccines that the Assad government claims was sabotaged. What can I say? Our screwed up Syrian policy, we'll talk about that tomorrow on our anti-war rally. We don't support a war in Syria. FBI Director dodges questions about Clinton's emails. Yep. California Congressman Darrell Issa, who previously led an investigation into Benghazi as a former chairman of the House Oversight Committee, says the FBI would like to indict both Huma Abedin and Hillary Clinton for conducting sensitive government business on an unsecure private email server. Boing. I think we've seen the end here. We're starting to see the Hillary Clinton hope for the presidency fade, folks. Finally, a chink in the Democratic armor of lies, deceit, and disinformation, and not answering questions. We are now looking at what appears to be a unique phenomenon that only can be described as coming from the Twilight Zone. You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension where most everything Hillary Clinton ever says or does is filtered by the media. You've just crossed over into an unusual moment when all her money cannot buy the best press on earth. You've just crossed over into the third party zone. Now, if I had an actual tune playing, they would actually tell me that's a copyright violation. Yeah. Of the entire Twilight Zone series, and that I'd be charged with a copyright violation on the YouTube network. David, in what way might Ron Paul assist the Sponheim administration? Well, all of you Tea Party people have to understand that I am a fiscal conservative. I agree with you. We need to end the Fed. So just get everybody on board with that simple concept. You know, we stand for a lot of accountability, too. I want to retire the Fed. I want to stand up to this ridiculous Marxist tendency of the Democratic Party, and I want to get to the bottom of what's really happening with tremendous over-expenditure. So as a fiscal conservative, I will see eye to eye, and believe me, the Tea Party will have a place in my administration. That's a guarantee, okay? I don't reject your views. Your socially conservative views we may differ on, but the bigger issue right now is getting this country to run right. We can move on to social issues later. And many of us will influence each other as time goes on, I think. You know, it's just a question of time. So there's a reason why many of us are beginning to distrust this woman we know as Hillary Clinton. But many of us have already been very distrustful of her for a long, long time. And now it's becoming more obvious. We can't even spoon feed truth serum into this woman. She can't handle the truth serum. So, yeah, Hillary, here you go. Try to say the truth. Yeah, Snopes as well is run by the Annenberg Foundation, as is factcheck.org. Look it up. Many of you still believe that the Democrats represent truth. Let's bring back democracy. What do you say, guys? You Democrats have lost your way. And let's stand up for the Republic, too. Okay? I mean, we can have both a Republic and a democracy simultaneously. They're not mutually exclusive. The question is, did you take the red pill or the blue pill? Oh, yeah, God has a place for her. Take your medicine now, Hillary. It's called the truth serum. Now's the time to break away from the old lies of protecting Bill and Orgy Island. I'm tired of it, too. We keep wanting to find the truth, and she just defers and just dissents and stonewalls and fogs. Have you ever seen somebody stonewall and fog in a courtroom? It's phenomenal. It's a trait that you have to be trained to do. You keep repeating the same thing over and over again, and they just refuse and say, "Oh, I plead the fifth. I don't have any," you know. So that's what they do. But we personally, we will keep trying to break through the ice of control of this ice queen we know as Hillary, because we can't stop. We're going to do another scent of the Can't Stop rendition because we had a request in our chat room.
Can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight.
Okay, what's coming up in the news?
So let's be clear. In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim.
Yeah, so Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin will be charged and indicted by the House Oversight Committee, according to California Congressman Darrell Issa. It's coming down. All right, 22 counts of violating national security. Whoa. Finally coming to a head. Thank you. And the stock market rocked today at 396 points up. Yeah. All right, get some exercise.
First we hit 'em low, then we hit 'em high. Underrated, but we made to the finish line. Rhymes designed to combine and intertwine. Spring to the summer, fall, even winter time. Beats banging harder than head-on collisions. We make incisions with precision and quick decisions, causing double visions. If you ain't up to speed, you need to speed it up, partner. Keanu Reeves.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on.
All right, let's see what we got here. Okay.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop.
Okay, what makes America great? Well, historically, it's creating, conserving, and back to our constitutional values. That's right. So I'm not Alex Jones, by the way, so don't worry. This guy is some sort of a sellout. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but it's not me. I'm not a sellout. Oh, yeah. Can't stop, baby. Woo, yeah. I heard that Glenn plays Can't Stop, yeah. Well, at least we're getting a little representation from Glenn. You know, I've always known that Glenn was a Democrat the whole time, but a lot of Democrats don't want to come around to the Tea Party side and understand that there's a place for us to gather. There really is. You know, I'm a person who supports individual freedom. I also support the rights of workers, but I don't believe that we should have a Marxist model where we force our government to take over our private property. So I believe that we can do both. We can actually provide an open opportunity for free enterprise to grow unfettered with less small regulations on small business. And we can also stimulate the private sector by creating government solutions that run efficiently. Now, that means downsizing government and focusing on using government to create opportunity for our entire economy. And that's part of our solar rooftop revolution, various ideas we've come up with. All right, so we've got other things. Blog TV's coming, and a round robin here. Hillary, what did Hillary say?
According to court documents, former CIA Director David Petraeus was prosecuted for sharing special access program intelligence with his biographer Paula Broadwell.
Right.
Both Petraeus and then Secretary of State Clinton were required to sign non-disclosure agreements promising to protect special access programs with the understanding that a failure to do so has significant legal consequences.
I think this is a real test for the administration as to whether they're going to apply the law in a fair and equal way and treat.
That's so true, yeah. I mean, what happened to General Petraeus and Paula? He's got a 2-year probation period. He has a felony against him. And if they don't do this with Hillary, it'll be completely inappropriate. Yeah. And we talked about Mohammed Saboud. I'll be playing that video tonight at the top of the hour to kick things off at 9 o'clock. We'll be starting with the shocking truth about Barack Obama's real father, Mohammed Saboud, from the cult of Indonesia, where many of us are going to go, what? You got to be kidding me. But I've been knowing this for many years, and it's kind of a shocker for many people. Muslim told Texas man, take down the flag. His response is amazing. Let's see what this is all about. Wow, somebody told a Muslim told the person to take down their flag. Can you imagine? It's called a threat. Okay, well, apparently that video doesn't play. Oh, here it is. From Live Leak. David, does your reversible tie have a Union Jack? No, it doesn't. It's a Stephen Harris. If you want to look it up, he's got ties like this all over the place. Okay? Hey, you're voting for me. Thank you, 477. Appreciate it, man. Well, the FEMA camps we don't need to use to lock anybody up. We've got plenty of installations for bad, corrupt politicians, believe me. Okay, apparently that's gone. Video not found. Wow, look at that. So in just one show, we saw a video get yanked right in front of our eyes. I'll be darned. Okay, moving on. Yeah, Microsoft to hide the Skype user IPs by default. This is a really good thing. Many of us have not broadcasted on Skype for some time and are going to start broadcasting on Skype. So we'll have two-way conversations with you guys coming up pretty soon. Why do you keep bringing up a Stacy thing? I mean, I just don't... What are you talking about, Stacy thing? I don't know anybody by the name of Stacy. Use all the FEMA camps to lock up all the politicians. Yeah. We don't want FEMA camps, I'm telling you. My father's dead. I love the Tide. Cha. No, please don't say bad things about Stacy. I don't even know Stacy anymore. I mean, I used to know a Stacy a long, long time ago. Oh, Stacy's Mom is a song? Really? Oh my gosh. Really? Widescreen? Is it a full spread widescreen situation? Is it spread eagle widescreen? Is it an eagle like the eagle behind me? Spread eagle. Okay, things are getting a little busy in behind my little background here. Let me move things around. Oh my God, look at this guy. Come on, everybody! Come on, everybody! Give me the red list! They're gonna take your IDs! They're gonna stick... Okay, let's move that out of there. They roll right off, really? No, I never had sex with Stacy, in case you were wondering. We did, however, really French kiss for about, I'd say, a good 15 minutes. Have you ever done that? That's quite an experience. I remember the early days when, I bet, yeah. Well, the early days when, you first get to learn how to kiss, and it's really quite amazing. I don't know, at whatever age you started, it's certainly a woot, isn't it? Yeah. But then you realize that, you don't like sticking your tongue in somebody else's ashtray, and you decide you don't want to kiss a smoker, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. But the reality is, you realize that, kissing isn't everything. It could be something, though. You never know. There's a lot more to life than kissing. It's getting down and dirty. Yeah. Okay. No, we don't talk about those things here. Your GIF. $5. Purchase the GIF that Amanda is using today. And it was a blessing that Mark made it for you. It was so kind of him to do that for profit. Bless him and all the other GIF makers here at this wonderful network. Oh my gosh, we've got people over there talking too. Good. Well, it's obviously for profit. I mean, you gave him $25. I mean, you think he's doing that for his health? You know how hard it is to make a GIF? There's programs that'll do it instantaneously. Okay, so Microsoft's going to hide the user IPs by default, which is good news. Okay, round red. Donald Trump's still a miser, tax return shows. He doesn't even donate to his own charitable foundation. The Donald J. Trump's Foundation 2014 tax return, which billionaires signed and filed 2 months ago, shows the organization donated only $591,000 that year, the lowest amount since 2003, while when the billionaire made just $187,000 in charitable contributions. He himself donated a small amount. The miserly Trump, whose paltry philanthropy has long been chronicled in these pages, made 53 separate donations in 2014, the largest of which is $100,000. Well, isn't that special? Okay, and father arrested and put on trial after taking his 12-year-old daughter's phone away. You parents are beginning to realize the collective Marxist ideology in your local neighborhood, telling you how to raise your child. Thank the Marxist Democrats for that. Donald, yeah, he supported Hillary. He gave her donations, yeah. They're both in the same deal. It's the two-party system. They are completely controlled by the same people. Trump owes you $20. Well, he bankrupted a company that my mother had a lot of stock in. It's a personal thing for me. I mean, I felt really pissed off when Resorts went under. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't like the guy. He basically, he leeches off of everybody around him to get to where he is. It's just like, hello? You people can't see that? My father in Texas couldn't believe it when there was a knock at the door at 2 a.m. The police had arrived to arrest him for taking a cell phone away from his daughter. Ronald Jackson says back in 2013, when his daughter was 12, he discovered a rude text message on her phone. So he took the phone away as punishment. Luckily for the sanity of the country, he was found not guilty by a Texas judge. That's a good story. Well, Stacy, I never met her again. I met her back in, I think, 5 years later. And she was driving a K car. And I said, well, how the hell did you get a K car? Well, she said she won enough money on Wheel of Fortune to buy a K car. And I went, wow. And I looked at the outfit she was wearing. I was like, and that's a leisure suit, isn't it? That's one of those polyester leisure suits. Okay, I don't think we'll be doing any more French kissing. Nice to meet you. We're not going to hang out in your K car. Were you recorded on Earth Cam and asked for a box of shoes? No, that was not me. Well, I'm sure she went on to a very lucrative career in law. I know she became an attorney, so. But I just couldn't imagine being with an attorney wearing a leisure suit, driving a K car. Well, yes, I definitely agree, Amanda. But I don't want to get your husband all jealous and all, because I don't sext and I don't talk nasty on my show. Yeah. This is a broadcast by Meow TV from France. Watch the food that he ate. This is hilarious. That is a nice meal. I'll bet that set him back $40 US dollars. So he took a picture. He's an elitist, so he doesn't mind sharing. Food is so sexual. Anyway, eat that food. Okay, and finally we got 5 more minutes to talk about Chicago police have been sabotaging their own dash cameras. I'm running out of time. We went over that. Okay. We saw how one police car was constantly braking, and it was one guy that killed somebody. He didn't want anyone to hear him at all. All right, now we're going over to the other side. This is a round robin I do. Yeah, mustard isn't not. You know, mustard has something in it, though, called turmeric that is really good for you. Turmeric is perhaps one of the best herbs out there. It's being studied for a lot of reasons. It extends your longevity. It resists cellular breakdown. So when you have yellow mustard and a hot dog, you could be like my great uncle who lived to be 96. That's all he ate every day his entire life, along with occasional, beans and probably a few vegetables like garden tomatoes and whatever. That's all he ever ate. Yeah, Uncle Ralph. We went out every single time we visited him. He was like, "Oh, would you like a hot dog and some mustard?" It's like, sure. And man, I'm telling you, that yellow mustard is filled with turmeric. So that must have been the way he lived to be 96 years old. I can see you in the chat room. Yes, I can. All right, so Chicago police. Let's see what we got here. The voter revolt going on right now, live as we see it. This was a weird story that came in early in our show about a guy who's a eugenicist. Yeah, I don't want to divide the races. Oh, Port Authority. Let's see. Longshoremen stage walk-off at the ports of New York, New Jersey. This is going on right now, in case you didn't know. Let's take a look.
Can prevent you from getting a good night's sleep. That's why choosing the right mattress is so important. A medium firm mattress is the perfect density to ease back pain and leave you feeling rested. Learn more at NBCBayArea.com/.
They don't say skip ad like they do in so many others. Yep.
News 4, first on the scene this morning. Truckers forced to wait and wait and wait after thousands of longshoremen walked off the job, shutting down terminal after terminal.
All we're doing is waiting to see if by any stroke of luck they reopen these ports.
From ports Newark and Elizabeth across the New York Harbor to Red Hook. Every terminal in the largest, busiest port complex on the East Coast was frozen. Workers milling around, most having no idea why.
I can't work if no one else is working. It seems like the whole operation just shut down.
That means car carrier ships no longer unloading. All the goods from clothes to food not getting to merchants. Chopper 4 captured the gridlock from above. Truckers unable to deliver or pick up cargo, unable to move until Port Authority police sorted things out. As for those truckers, pain in the wallet.
A lot of money I lost. Not only me, everybody lost money here.
As frustrating as this may have been, some truckers sympathetic.
No, I don't blame them.
The issues boil down to this: a dispute with the Waterfront Commission, a dispute over technology advancements, and a dispute as well over outsourcing. Whether it will be resolved anytime soon remains to be seen. In Port Newark, Brian Thompson, News 4 New York.
Thanks, Klein. We now go to Brian Williams from MSNBC. Go ahead, Brian. Well, Dave, I'm currently under attack from a helicopter as we go toward the... All right. And I think we got something else here. Let's see. The controversial video of David Bowie, the death hoax. We'll be playing that tonight if you want to stick around for our late night video challenge. 14 minutes of a guy showing you a newly and improved David Bowie who's appeared on the public scene never before seen under the name of Jack Stephen. This is a good video. You're gonna want to watch that for sure. And this was a story that came in the show last night. I want to kind of close down on that. This shocking story about a guy in Fresno who was an activist who was exposing some police crime that was going on, some corruption, actually made a video of some guys outside of his house in a carpet cleaning van, and he got the video uploaded, and then the guy died. So there's a lead for cops, but the cops are so corrupt that there may be some sort of a connection. I'll give you guys the link to watch this tonight or read about it. It's really weird. Very strange that came in. Fresno activist died. He may have predicted his own death. That's a story that's really stuck in my mind last night. Very scary that somebody could actually believe that they're going to kill him for what he did. And all he did was expose the truth. In a country that claims to be free, how weird is that? Yep, okay, there you go. You know a lot of white girls dating black guys, all right? And this video came in last night. I think you all should see it. If you're supporting Ted Cruz in this upcoming election, you need to understand what he's all about and how disturbed this is. I mean, we talked last night about Donald Trump, his wife Ivana, saying that he had a book on Hitler's speeches next to his bed when she was married to him. Well, this story from Ted Cruz is going to make you think the same thing about Ted Cruz. Really shocking. This was when he was a young man. We'll show you what he said. Oh, the video's out. It's gone.
Aspiration. Is that like sweat on my butt? No. Oh, I see. What you want me to do, what I want to do in life. Well, my aspiration is to, I don't know, be in a teen fit film like that guy who played Horatio. You know, he was in Malibu Bikini Beach Shop. Well, other than that, take over the world, world domination, you know, rule everything, rich, powerful, that sort of stuff. Aspiration. Is that like sweat on my butt? No, oh, I see. What you want me to do, what I want to do in life. Well, my aspiration is to, I don't know, be in a teen fit film like that guy who played Horatio. You know, he was in Malibu Bikini Beach Shop. Well, other than that, take over the world, world domination, you know, rule everything.
Wow. You see what we're dealing with here? Yeah. So Grandpa is still alive. Apparently he got a gig trying to be the world dominator. Another Lex Luthor character being born, the youth of a very weird guy. I know, it's weird. He's just too weird for me. I mean, their goals are not to help people or help the country. Their goals are simply to be in power. Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Ted Cruz. You wonder about a lot of these people. Okay, and then finally, yeah, I guess that wraps it up. Grain terminal in North Dakota. Oh, this is a bright news here. You know how anti-GMO I am? Well, there's a grain terminal in North Dakota that's dedicated totally to non-GMO harvest. Now, my family comes from North Dakota. My father did. And I'm really glad to hear this because I'm going to stop the GMOs from taking over our food supply. As president, that's a very important thing. Herman VP, okay. My Mexican water outfit. I don't have a Mexican water outfit. Nature has created a good symbiosis with your body and not corporations. That's right. Nature is here to heal us. Corporations are here to hurt us, really. They want to harvest off our resources. You know, the American people are really at a crossroads right now. It's me driving after 30 coffees. We really have to decide if we want corporations to take our future away from us. Oh, illegal street drives. Okay, well, I'm concerned that the corporations have hijacked our government. They're using the instrument of our government to now take over land. Brother. And with this recent attack in Burns, Oregon, BLM, Bureau of Land Management, is seizing properties like the Hammond Ranch. So the American people are at a crossroads. Are we going to allow corporations to sell off our country, the country you and your forefathers have worked hard for and fought for? So clearly we've got a long way to go to get accountability, and the only way we're going to do it is at our third party. So thanks again for coming in, everybody. We are going to talk about the war brewing overseas in Syria tomorrow night on our anti-war rally. But more importantly, this show is essentially a forum for you to share your ideas politically as they pop up. There's no pressure. You can come in and watch. You can chat interactively for the next 5 hours because I'll be up till 2 in the morning in here and out of here watching. We do move our room over to another venue at the top of the hour. So we'll be switching over to the news tech section. You'll find us there at 10 o'clock. But in the meantime, I want all of you to enjoy the videos. And one of the first videos I play on our Friday night is our anti-brutality video. And if this is showing you some shocking footage, you may want to look away for a few minutes because it shows cops beating up people. And it's something that is put to music, and it's pretty intense. And I'm glad that the work of this artist, this rap artist, is out there. His name is Rob Hustle. And he does a really good job of profiling all the different cases of brutality that seems to be going on under our current two-party system. Really bad. So we need to get a set of precedent for cops to have a different approach. I believe a shoot-to-maim policy would be way better than the shoot-to-kill policy they've got right now. And I definitely want accountability from cities. Any city that hires a brutal cop will have cuts in funding at the municipal level. The federal government will not pay for that crap. They've got to get them off the force and get some sense of sanity back to law enforcement. All right. Thanks again for coming in, everybody. Take care.